What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this like monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Like, I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard is supposedly is?
Right.
And then the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we even thought, why doesn't my father like me? Is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are, like absolutely. But if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you did it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, so there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband and stuff like that.
Yo, what it is? Kirkland Henry and AJ. What's happening, man?
What's up
What it
with
is?
you?
What we got going, man?
Hey,
What's happening?
We got AJ in the building. Kirk, AJ.
What's
What's
up,
happening?
AJ?
hey, Kirk, how you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm alright. Can't complain. Won't complain.
Like
Yeah.
the old man used to tell
You
me.
like the way I look, bald.
Like the old man used to tell me. I can complain, but it won't do no good.
Hey,
Won't do no good. Don't do
Hell,
you
he
no
say.
good.
all
So
that.
I
None
so I
whatsoever.
immediately eliminated complaining out of my vocabulary,
You ain't never
out of my
had a man
actions,
ask you
out of
for
my
no hair,
emotions.
AJ. Don't worry about that.
What, my hair?
A man ain't never asked you, give me some hair.
Ah, I know that's right.
What do you ask for, Kirk?
Hey,
Hey,
it ain't hair. That's for damn sure.
you
It
stupid.
might be
Well,
what hair used to be.
Kirk, now you know that move now, where y'all like to wrap that hair around your hand.
I
You know
Yeah,
am.
that move.
you know.
I
Ah,
ain't even got
yeah,
to have that hair
that
though.
move.
I grab the head, the shoulders, neck, all that.
Please don't, please, Lord my God. Okay
You
then.
abusive.
Great
You be
man.
pulverizing. Nah, but
I'm trying to win, man. I'm trying to see something.
I
man,
feel you.
boy, you crazy.
That's
But
what's
yeah,
up.
this topic here, it came up. Eric, you done been married. Kurt done been married. AJ ain't been married yet.
Nope.
But Kurt, when you were dating, you know, popular, you was out there, you was doing your thing. Did you feel like when you knew it was time for you to get married, let me get this out my system? Let me go and mess with everybody who I wanted to mess with, who I thought about. Let me just try to get all this out my system so I won't think about messing around when I get married.
Be honest with you, I didn't think about it that way. Like
Really?
parts of me, was naive and
Mm.
immature, and was kind of looking for that just wanting a real nice girlfriend.
Okay.
And then what happened was, uh, when I got to college, is when I kind of met my girl like at the same time. And so as time went on, I started to, especially after we kind of hooked up and got together, because she became pregnant very early. So
Mm-hmm.
once I committed to her, as time went on, I started to feel the effects of not sowing my oats, and feeling like I'm missing out.
Okay.
And I didn't get to experience a lot of things that I should have experienced during that growing phase, during
Mm-hmm.
that becoming mature phase.
So you got married at a young age.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I got married at 20.
Woo!
Yeah,
And what happened? How long were y'all together?
20 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just ran its course.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of infidelity, a lot of, I know for me, everything that I was doing or should have been doing when I was in my young age, I
You
was
did
doing.
it during the marriage.
Yeah.
So you think if you had got it out your system, would you have done it during the marriage?
For me, I had to discover, I think I would have been, I think I was programmed to be a cheater.
Okay.
Uh, Me coming up didn't have a lot of models per se of men that didn't have a wife and a woman on the side. That's just one something that I saw from my father, my uncle, every male, every positive male, every male influence that I knew had a chick on the side. and it was talked about. It was kind of showcased, uh, and
As a good thing.
it was very common. But the immaturity of my thinking didn't allow me to understand the damage. See, it only showed me, you know, how you propaganda and you showcasing what it's like to be that thug or that drug dealer or that player, all of that. You making all that look good. See,
Right.
where I didn't understand the damage it does to you, the damage it does to your relationship, because a lot of times we only think that your cheating only affects the person you cheated on. But what it does, it damages your ability to understand what you got at home is good and basically the same thing if you invest the same time and energy and effort that you're willing to put in the streets. So we have a obscured view of what we got. We start to de-appreciate what we got at home, and we listen to all the bullshit that other women tell us and other people tell us, and so
Your
we
homeboys.
we no longer look at what we got as being something good. It's just, hey, it's just, you
That's
start
the
to feel
old
like
ball and chain. Okay.
you start to feel like you could have did better type shit. And
Okay.
so so that was my experience. But
Uh,
once the interesting thing though, once I discovered my reasoning for thinking that way, it was
Right.
cheating was something easy to control.
Okay. Now, Austin, you've been married. You're
Yeah.
married now.
Yep.
Um, my question to Kurt was, especially, I'm gonna say your first real marriage, not the military marriage. Your first, let me get married to the person who you thought was gonna be your forever person. Uh, did you when it came close to you knowing you was getting ready to get married, did it hit you to say, I need to go and hit everybody that I want to hit or that I left in limbo that I should have hit before I get married because I don't want to be thinking about them while I'm in my marriage?
No, no. When I was in the military, I was very, very promiscuous. So I was able to do everything that I needed to and wanted to with whomever, right? And then in the marriage prior to this one, um, I attempted to make it work. I was faithful for a period in that marriage. But then when things started to um, get ugly, and you know what I'm talking about, when things
Right.
started to get ugly, then it started out as just me talking to other women, trying to get advice, using them as a confidant, right? And then after we had our conversations, then we started to get closer. Then it turned into let's go to dinner or let's go to lunch or whatever. And then it started to, hey, you can come over my house. We can do lunch over here, or we can do dinner over here. We can sit up and talk or whatever. And then that's when the affair started to set in because I started seeing something
And
that I was
them
missing.
that
Yeah,
was missing at home.
exactly.
All right, go ahead. George, welcome to the panel.
Good
Uh,
evening. How you everyone doing?
what's that in which
Man,
uh you've been married,
right.
but on the same note, you're a different type of breed. You didn't never go after the notch under the belt or let me hit as many as I can before I get married. You stepped out there trying to date with hopes of marrying. So sowing your oats didn't matter to you, right? You just mainly just wanted to get married. So that let me get this out my system. Let me go talk to all my exes and my crushes and go and see if I can crush them before I get married. That never was a thought of yours, right?
No, never was. I mean, you know, and I know one thing we got to keep in mind, we have to take into account the person's point. You know, what point are they in life when they do that? You know, but just and I got married about 23, and it just never was a part of my thing. And even when I was dating the past couple of years, I wasn't out there like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it just never occurred. It was never a thing for me.
So you okay. And then my experience, it wasn't a it's kind of like similar to what Austin was saying, with it wasn't a let me jump out there and hit everybody. Because I'd always had access and was free to do whatever. Um, but I did have to. I went and created closure because I didn't want that. Am I doing the right thing? Is this who I should be with? Should I go back to this person? Uh, did I not say enough to make sure? So I went when I kind of knew that this one was the one. When she asked what was what was our status, and my reply was, I have a lot of loose ends, and once I clear up my loose ends, I'll be able to answer that. And at that time, that's when I made arrangements to talk with the main ones who was texting or calling me on the regular, and basically just letting them know, if we're not gonna do anything, I'm doing this. If you're not ready to do this, I'm about to do this and that. What do we have? I was just making sure that it was cool, and then we got into the friend zone, a healthy friend zone, and I got congratulations and all of that. But I did have to create closure because with me being so self-centered, I only talk to people who I really like. It just wasn't if they were in my circle where they can text me on the regular and I text them back, or call me and I call them back, they meant something to me. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna have to make sure I'm talking with this one more. I'm spending more time with this one. So I'm gonna go over and make sure I create all this closure so it won't be no did I have not. Whenever we hit our first rocky patch, I shouldn't have did this. I need to be with her. So I made sure I created closure, and that's what helped me
But in
move
a
on.
sense, D Black, in a sense, you did have numbers though, right? So you had experience. So really, you didn't have no oats to sow.
Right. That's why I just created closure. I want to make sure that who I
What
like,
if
who
those
I knew like
women?
me, we didn't have no more connection. That we understood that don't look at me googly eyes, don't call me for sexual healing. Once we hang up this phone, it's understood that I'm getting married,
The
and we
relationship
understand that
we ain't
you
got
and I are
we
not
ain't got
together.
that we ain't got that kind of relationship no more.
Right. Yeah. And then today, women are cocky. Yeah, you'll be back. Yeah, I can always get that. You're gonna forever be mine. That's that time. You're gonna hear that. But that that uh that depends on, like you said, Kurt. The way you described yours, Kurt,
Yeah,
was very strong. Um, your mind was made up. You get what I'm saying? You stepped in there knowing what you wanted. You know what I'm saying at first.
yeah.
Um, but with a person with insecurities, um, I just with trust issues because of things I've done, and a person who believes in karma, I just wasn't quick to, give in to none of that. My mind was like, never do this thing. But when it came close to it, the last thing I was thinking about is throwing my oats because, like you said, I'd already done all that. It was like the people who I liked. Are you sure you need to let them go?
Well,
You don't want no regrets.
Let me say something that that makes sense to me now that I didn't pay attention to. I think the thing about sowing oats, whether you sow 10 oats or whether you sow 100 oats, at some point, if you don't find out who you are and what you like, it don't matter how many oats you sow.
Yeah.
You're
That's
gonna
right.
Now,
still
Austin and I, when we were in college, high school and college,
yeah,
it was a notch under the belt.
yeah.
Who got this? Man, I hit that. I got that. I got that. Till we
So
actually, I remember we were in our dorm room, and him and I was trying to count, and you would be a. It was crazy. I remember that. Like we just stopped. We was like, man.
right, and so until I learned out who I was and even what I like. See, in my marriages, because I was so early on, I didn't even get to discover who I was. I
Austin said
just
that too.
I just signed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. Hey, let's do this. It was no big problem. It was no big deal to me. And so the problem with that is like if if I didn't know that I didn't have the patience for kids, or I didn't know I had the patience for people that didn't have the patience for people that don't clean up or don't do this or do that. Until I learned all of those things, I was like, I know how I am. But once you find out what you like and what you don't like,
Mm-hmm. And I
that's
think
when
that's the difference in mine. Is it never was on my mind to do the marriage thing. And I had experienced being with people I liked, I didn't like, I didn't want to like, I ain't had no business liking. So I had a chance to experience. So I learned what I liked and what I wanted
right,
before I did it. You see what I'm saying? So
exactly. But see, I didn't do that. I was like, okay, she fine enough, she pretty enough, she seemed like she good enough, you know. It
yeah,
was it was more like the attraction surpassed anything complex.
right.
You
How
know what I'm saying?
emotional, how
Yeah,
unorganized, how
yeah. You
loftiness.
know, all of the important factors that you got to go through in a marriage, because after the honeymoon and bills come about and shit start getting serious, that's where you find out what type of glue you got. And if you ain't built right, other things come into play very easy. You know, so it's important. I think it ain't even got to be so much in numbers as it has to be in what
Getting
you
to
know
know who
about
you are and
what you
what
know
you
about
like and
you,
don't like. Yeah.
what you know about you, and
I
And,
and
think you
and,
should
that, and
date
that,
with intention, and but it is good to date multiple people so that when you do settle down, you don't feel like you missing something or is the grass green on the other
Yeah,
side. And
and I
right,
preach
right.
that too.
absolutely,
Even though I don't care for a high body count, you also don't want no virgin because that virgin ain't been out there to see what is. And I know a lot of guys, well, not a lot, but quite a few guys that married women with one or two sex partners, or they
nope,
was the first and then
nope.
they
They
married
have zero experience.
them. Very few experience. And so when she's talking to other people on the job, or when he and he hadn't had many, when he was talking to different women on the job, he was curious on what it'll be like to talk to someone besides the one he's with, because they were one or two.
Right. It creates that. It
Right.
creates that. It creates that curiosity. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And when he used to talk to me about it, and she would be saying some of the same things, I was like, that's from lack of experience, and that's what made me know I didn't want somebody who didn't have nobody. I wasn't going to get me no fresh virgin off the block and put a baby in her and marry her, because if you doing long term, anything can happen. You guys get that
And I
moment of
tell
that
you, I tell
disconnect, and
you,
she around her, the guys at work, and they
Right.
see her being sad looking and depressed, and they want to go over there, and what's wrong with you today, pretty? You too pretty to be too sad, be so sad,
and
and
that's what I was about to say. Demographics play an important role. Whereas you might be in a small town somewhere, and the pickings is real slim,
mhm,
and then you go to a university, or you go to Florida, or you might go to the DFW, you might go to Dallas or even Vegas, and then you getting approached like it's just on a regular. All of that plays into your head, because when I was in my 20s, the first state I moved to was Florida. And I've never seen women so aggressive in my life. They don't care you married, who you got, what you do. They was just telling you what they do. And it just, I, man, listen, I was hit on from customers to employees every day. And I'm not trying to say I'm something. I don't really view myself like that. I'm not vain. It's just that I was hit on all the time. I'm talking about like constantly. So it was a lot of pressure, because some of them chicks come in there in bathing suits. So it was like a lot of pressure to turn, just like, hey man, I'm gonna let that go. All you need is an argument at home to take that number.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And think about, well, shit, I'm gonna go see what this do. You
Mhm.
know, and like old boy said, you find yourself staying out. You find yourself not wanting to go home. You find yourself feeling like you missed out, and you start pitching conversations, man, and people be listening, cause when other women interested, they'll let you know they interested. You know, so for me, the way I really look at it, I wasn't in no shape, form, or fashion ready to be no husband at 20 years old.
Yeah, and then also, when I really don't recommend anyone to get married prior to 30 years old.
Right.
And
Right.
Yeah.
some people it works for, some people a lot of people it don't. But until you've had the opportunity to experience some things in life and identify, like you said, who you are and what you want,
Yeah.
uh, then you'll be better able to deal with whatever your relationship is, because you've experienced some things, and now you're not going to be out there chasing after whoever, whatever, and however. And then also, in the reverse of that, when you are messing with a large number of people, then you start to get confused again on what it is that you really like, what it is that you're really looking for. Because if you having sex with multiple people, then that becomes the thing. You don't have time or energy to put into that person to identify if that's someone that you can actually be with for other than just the bedroom.
Sexual, right.
Yeah. Well, it
And
seems
I'm
to be.
waiting on AJ.
I mean, I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with you. I agree with the let's not get married till we at least experience some things. You've experienced some things. I've experienced some things. Because here's the thing, uh, you're gonna be in. It ain't gonna always be rainbows and glitter, it's gonna be times where you gotta have those serious conversations or have those serious moments where things shit hit the fan. And you need to know that, hey, when shit hits the fan, are you what kind of person you are? You know, are you a run or you gonna buckle down and we get this done?
I'll tell you one more. I'll tell you one more thing, D. And this is quite common. Uh, and y'all can agree with me or not, but I know this for a fact. Most black people don't plan parenthood.
No.
It's usually
We
I'm
showed
pregnant,
down.
and it's
Look,
usually
we showed down.
it's usually before you 25 years old. Hey, I'm pregnant,
Yeah.
and so that opens up a whole nother level of okay, what we gonna do with this now?
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of guys say, well, shit, let's go and get
All
married.
right. Now you escape uh the whole phase before marriage. Okay, you escaped that one. Pretty much
Right.
everybody on here escaped that one. Now, after that breakup, though, after that breakup, that divorce, and this for the ones that's been married and divorced. These for the ones that's been divorced that's on the panel.
Yeah.
After
Yep.
that breakup,
It's
did
overseas.
you feel the need to say? Did you find yourself chasing it or being in with several different women just because?
I found myself definitely talking to a myriad of women after that. You know, yeah, it was like, yeah, let me see what's out there, especially post divorce and post engagement. You know, I had a lot of work to do on myself, but there was definitely a period when I was talking to a lot of different women, exploring options a lot more.
Let me ask you a question. So you did that post divorce. Did you do that pre-marriage? Talk to
No,
several different women to see?
no,
Mm-mm,
no.
not him.
Mm, mm. So your perspective changed
Yeah.
after the marriage.
Oh yes. Now I wouldn't. Now that doesn't mean I was just out there being active, nothing like that. Now I was a lot of these women I was just talking to, but I'm saying
Yeah.
I allowed myself room to entertain different women to learn more about what I liked and didn't like.
Well, would that would
Right.
have? Do you think that would have helped you
In your
pre-marriage?
marriage.
No,
If you
no,
had have been more sure of who you are, like what your likes and dislikes are, you don't think that would have helped you during the marriage?
nah, because I got married at 23, and no matter how it's gonna be hard for any 23-year-old to know who they are with the pressures and different elements of our marriage that we had.
Well, my
Mhm.
my second son got married at
Eric, dude, what's that?
my second son got married at 23. I think now he's getting ready to celebrate his 15th year anniversary,
Right.
and
Hmm.
they been solid
Yeah.
and
See, I
still
made it
solid.
16 years, so yeah, I was
Yeah, he
16
was
years there.
Austin. I want to hear from Austin after your first, not the first, after your second real thought it was gonna be forever marriage. When that crumbled, did you go into your whole phase?
No, I had no reason to. But I mean, at this point, I had actually been praying
No,
that.
no, no, not the last marriage.
No, I
The
mean,
second one,
yeah,
the
yeah.
one that everybody, the whole family thought was gonna be y'all.
No, because I never left my whole phase.
Oh,
So that's the thing. I never did leave. I never did leave my whole phase. You know,
right.
it lay dormant for a short period of time, but
Yeah.
Mm.
it came back out because I wasn't finished.
Mm.
Do you feel finished now?
Yeah, I've been finished. I've been finished.
So
You
what
know,
led to you being finished? What was that catalyst that said that epiphany that said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done.
really, it was the person I that I'm with, and that I actually had really true feelings for and a real connection with. So and that was it.
See, we was raised once a cheater, always a cheater.
And you're right.
We had a
What?
discussion like that too.
Yep. Once a cheater, always a cheater. But that doesn't mean that person's got to cheat again.
Mm-mm. It can be totally dependent on the person. So you can say that not to lay blame, but you can also make the argument that the type of person that you were with in the past caused you to cheat.
Now, the type of person I was in the past caused me to cheat. I can't put it
Right.
on anyone else.
Well,
Right.
you said the
Right.
person that you with now made you stop. So I'm just trying to flip it and trying to see what's a what.
Well, I mean, well, what I thought what I said was the caring, the love, and the feelings that I have for the person caused me to stop. So the person that I'm with now, and those emotions, caring, love, empathy, all of those things, the actual being in love, the actual being a partner with,
Okay.
all of those things that came in right on time and help us to build where we are. Though that thing made me stop or not want to cheat, because she's everything that I need and everything that I've ever wanted. So there's no need for me to look outside of her.
For
So
me, mine's is solely all me. I truly choose. I could be with anybody right now and not cheat. It just really wouldn't be anything that I needed to do.
Me neither.
I
But
know
that because you
because
feel like you got it all out your
not only
system, though,
that,
right?
the maturity that I have, the
Okay.
person that I choose, I know for a fact I'm gonna go in knowing that I'm gonna get what I need from that person. That's the difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
I
kind of agree
know
with him
that
on that.
I know that when I go choose that car, it's gonna have everything that I need.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like just accepting the car that somebody gave me,
Yeah.
or
Because
just
you're
accepting the
desperate.
car because it's a good deal.
Yeah.
It's got a fast motor. That car gonna have exactly what I want.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
the
that's what I
difference.
did, and
That's a good
that's what
way
I
to
was
put it.
saying previous weeks on here. Once you, what stopped me was finding what I wanted,
And
because
understanding that's what you want.
understanding that's what I want, because long as I'm just with somebody because they like me, with somebody because of their education, with somebody because of their finances, that wasn't working for me. Because I literally have to like that person. I don't like many people. I don't even like people like talking about. And so for me to even
Look, you would
This
get bored
family.
very easy, and
be
it'd be
able to
like
sit
something you
around
doing.
her, to talk to her, to conversate, to have fun, to want to be in their presence, that meant a lot to me, because it was a lot that people thought I should have been with. Oh, they a good couple, they look good together, and I'm trying to stomach this, but I couldn't stand that Whopper Block. And I was like, this ain't working for me, you know. And so I said, I'm
That's
gonna
the
have to
kind of
find,
better
you know,
on
and
the
I was
kick.
cheating left and right. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to find somebody that's gonna make me not even want to cheat. You know what I'm saying? Like when I see this, I think to myself, well, you got that at home.
Yeah.
When I hear this, I want to be able to say, well, you can hear that at home. And that's what disciplined me. Because other than that, anytime I see something, they look, I look, they look, I'm gonna say something to them. You
So
know,
do you feel the whole phase was necessary?
not for not for me,
In
because I'm a
shaping who
mental person.
you
I'm a
you
mental
said
person.
because okay.
I practiced dick control a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to be with a woman, and I'll know that I gotta go, or she gotta go to work, or we got something to do. And no matter how she's on me and whatever, little buddy just gonna chill. He like, you ain't finna do nothing. And I started practicing this in high school. You ain't
So
finna do
when,
that. So calm down.
for clarification, when we talking about whole phase, we talking about notches on the belt, body count.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never
Okay.
did. I mean, when I'm single, I'm fucking single. You understand? I'm doing me. And there's no such thing as that when you're single. But
You can be in a whole
yeah,
phase
I mean,
and
you can go through
single.
your whole phase when you single per se. Yeah, but
Is that
um,
healthy though?
it depends. For some people, they say it's healthy. They say they need to do it to get it out their
Hmm.
system. So, but I think once you're participating in being promiscuous and participating with a lot of sex partners, and if you mess around and like it, um, you're gonna eventually go back to it. And
Yeah.
and just like Austin said, it was always kind of in him to do that up until now. So I feel like once you get out there and start hoeing, you're gonna eventually do it again. You know.
Well, once
But
I
the
found out
maturity
why
changes
I didn't.
things.
Say what?
Maturity.
Once I found out why I was doing it, I didn't anymore. It was easy to control for me. Easy.
But see, but what AJ, what you have to understand, women and men are not the same.
Hmm.
They're not the same. That's why, and I was just explaining this to someone before I got on the podcast. A man can go and make 9 babies in a month. You guys can only carry a child 9 months. You can't get pregnant 9 times in 9 months. So that
Hmm.
means it ain't really for you all to be out there doing what men do. I'm just saying. And then you carry a life inside of you and birth that out of you. The more men you mess with, it just
But can
it
we
just
agree that it's still, whether you're male or female, there's
yeah.
still that you want to get to experience, and women like sex too. Women like sex. We
Yeah.
like, we like, we want,
A lot of women
sometimes
like it more
we
than men.
want to see what's out there and what's different and what's new and what's popping. Make see if we still got it, you know.
Yeah. I don't know, Austin. Elaborate on that for me. Shit. I got tongue tied.
No, I mean it is the same. I mean, women like sex, men like fucking. So, I mean, it
It's
is
the
what it
same
is. So
per se.
you get
Yeah.
out there. I mean, you get out there and you go through your, we'll call it discovery phase. If people don't like whole phase, you go through your discovery phase. So you're out there trying to find what it is you like, what kind of dick you like, what kind of pussy you like, or if you like them both. So
Hmm.
you you go through that phase, and sometimes it is best to go through a phase of discovery
Right.
earlier than later,
Mhm.
because now,
Rather sooner than later, because you
yeah,
don't want to be an old hoe.
yeah,
Hmm.
But body
yeah,
count never bothered me.
Hmm.
So because I had a high body count, so I already know I didn't give a damn what you was doing because I was probably doing 10 times worse than you. Because once one thing about I was in the dope game too. So I I always was meeting so many women, and so I was gonna have it was ain't no way I should have got married at 20. No, I mean,
Hmm.
man, listen, man, the fact that I stayed 20 years, you know, was something unbelievable because, but, and I can probably say the last 7 years was solely for my kids.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, you made 20, but how many of those 20s were you dedicated to that marriage?
And then the flip side of that is that really toward them last 7 years, I had changed so much that the light was really on for me. Like and then that's when I wanted her to be what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to save my marriage because I was one of those fathers that always wanted to keep my family whole. I saw what broken homes do to the
But a
kids.
lot of times it'd be too much, too little, too late.
Absolutely, and that's what it
And
was.
yeah,
See, I don't
but
go into I don't look at my past as one person was at fault. It was all oh she wasn't shit. And guys trip me out when they do that. They start out and women do the same thing. Oh, he the best thing since white bread. And then you ask them 2 months later, 6 months later, hey, what I know? Oh, that nigga wasn't shit.
Right.
You
Mhm.
know, so
Yeah.
so 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 we both was very two flawed individuals. And what we found out is that she had a lot of stuff in her past that was deeper than what I was able to deal with. She had a lot of family problems, a lot of things that happened to her that she never dealt with. Here I am, a young man, thinking, well, if I'm just a better this, or better that, if I just do more of this, I do more of that, I'll make her happy, I'll fix her. Well,
now
wasn't no fix, wasn't no
Austin and
fixing
I
her.
both fell in those situations, thinking that we can
Fix that, yeah.
correct the issue, fix it, heal
Yeah,
them.
ain't no
You
fixing
know,
Like
that.
can't
You ain't got
can't
enough. You
No, you
can't
can't
go
heal
buy
them.
enough tools to fix it.
You got to do it. That's an eternal thing. That's a you
which
Absolutely,
got to do that
which
on
we
your
found
own.
out after bumping our head several times. Yeah, that it
absolutely.
you can't fix nobody that's broken that haven't healed.
Yeah,
right.
And
and
it
you
goes for
still
men too. You know, women, we automatically go in thinking we can fix it. And so, you can't, the man may have some brokenness in him that he has to heal. So, it's vice versa. You can't fix it. You can't.
and the man ain't gonna never admit to it though. See,
Oh no, yeah. Because men don't like to be vulnerable.
I
But that
did.
makes y'all so handsome.
But you know what though? I had to learn to be vulnerable. Otherwise I would have never got to this point. You
Yeah.
know, and y'all right. The man's got to be willing to heal, but a lot of us don't want to do it. But until we do that, we go here still stay in the same rut we've been in.
yeah, but like I tell everybody, everybody can get got. I
Yeah.
was the toughest thing, man. I had the toughest skin. My skin was so thick you couldn't cut it with one of them Kaiser blades.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Usually when men are like that and they're nonchalant. So when it comes down to women, they're the ones that get the windows busted out and the tires slashed because you don't show that you can are hurting or so women go like above and beyond to try to hurt you. Did that ever happen to you?
I charged it to the game.
But it happened.
Did I bust out windows and all of
No,
that?
no,
No, did
no.
did you
Did they
get
do
your
that to
window?
you?
Oh yeah, I had all of that happen to me.
Yeah. Hmm.
I didn't do that. I didn't do that type of shit though when the game got reversed on me. I charged it to the game because that's one thing that the dope game taught me. Ain't no
Yeah.
fairness in the game. They said, "Hey, all is fair in love and war." It
What?
ain't no fairness in the game, man. So
Fair exchange, no robbery.
when you playing the game, be prepared.
Yeah.
My dad always told me, said, "Hey, You go out there and hustle all you want to. I can't tell you not to. Just have you some bond money, cause I don't come get people out that go to jail. He said, I don't bond people out. He said, you commit the crime, you better have you some paper saved up. And you better have you some lawyer money. I don't get people out of jail. And that taught me the same lesson in life, man. If you willing to if you willing to be out there and it come back on you, I don't care what it is you do. Hey, and you been out there doing it, charge it to the game, man. Cause man, I'm not going to jail behind what some woman did because that's what she chose to do. I
Right.
just happen to be her mate, and now I'm finna trip. No, man, I ain't finna do that. I take that. I take that loss, man, and keep it moving. I, I can't do jail, bro. Freedom. I ain't getting up my freedom for shit. Nothing. Nada. So I learned a lot of valuable lessons, man, and now I'm able to coach and be a great mentor for my kids and try to advise them through this thing called life, man, about all the things that you go through. That's the important thing. How do you change your culture? How do you redirect coming from a household full of dope dealers and cheaters and people with lack of education? How do you change that culture? How do you make that next generation better? And then start producing positive people, doctors and lawyers and people who's doing successful things and entrepreneurs. And that was my direction once I understood what my role was, because I was just working and providing. That was my role. That was my initial roles. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna provide for these kids. Da 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 da. That's my job. But your job is so much more than that, and you have to understand, even when things ain't even working right, or things are tough in a relationship, that's still your job. You don't get a pass. You don't get a break
Mhm.
from it. That's still your job, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I got from all my lessons. I was telling somebody today, man, I just want to be a better father, a better friend, a better coach, a better neighbor, just a better person in general. And I never was a bad person. I'm talking about what could I do to be better though?
Yeah.
You know, uh, I jump on this podcast. I could be doing other things, but we all learn. I'm learning, just like I learn here.
Hmm.
That's why I
Mhm.
jump on this podcast. I take this
Mhm.
and I go deliver it to other people. I deliver it
And
to my kids. I
and that's
deliver
what
it to my grandkids.
saved me in a lot of things, especially my relationship, because this podcast broke me down and made me see who I really was
How
as a
long you
Absolutely.
been doing
as
it?
a person.
How long you
And
been
so
doing this, B?
it's therapy. It's like going on 3 years now.
Okay.
And we tried different things, had different hosts, but it took them to make me see that I wasn't always right. I saw my
Yeah.
flaws. And
Yeah.
until this, I didn't see my flaws until this podcast.
Hmm.
I hear them. She say you don't do this, you don't do that.
But then it made you reflect. So you can go back. Well, damn, that's what they was talking about on the podcast. Damn,
Right.
damn, she
Hmm.
right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You start looking at that mirror, really looking at yourself, man. Because man,
Right.
listen, it's one love, man, and it's all the same love, man. And if you care, if you really care, and if you just being honest, you ain't nobody perfect up in here. Nobody.
Yeah.
And so, man, I had to, man. There's so much I learned about myself, man. I used to get like I had pet peeves, like I would lose it behind dishes or the littlest of things.
Yeah.
If she didn't do this or she didn't do that, I would literally lose it. And you know what I
Mm-hmm.
found out that was? Is that I didn't have the self-esteem or confidence that I thought I had. I was trying to control. I needed all her attention,
Hmm.
every bit of her attention. And that getting angry was a way of enforcing my control. I didn't understand any of that. Once I learned these things, it's like, what am I doing? Why am I inflicting my insecurities on her? Because see, those type of things was never discussed with me. Who gonna teach me that? You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Who
Yeah.
telling me about my insecurities? Nobody. I didn't even know I was insecure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So once you start finding self and finding self value and understanding and accepting who you are, the first thing you just got to accept who you are and
Yeah.
then see where you need to move to be better.
To be better. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
The intro, looking, the introspection, just man, I try to always self evaluate. And
Yes.
the older I get, the more I do it. Because
Yeah.
I didn't do it when I was younger, you know.
Yeah. And I found out the dishes, that ain't about shit. They gonna get
Right.
washed.
Right.
It ain't even about the dishes. What you really mad about?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I know now. She told you she didn't want to do so and so. That's what you mad about. You didn't get the
Mm-hmm.
answer you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's those type of things, man. And you got to understand, we all different. We all humans, and relationships are like two pair of shoes come from two different stores, and you trying to make them fit and make both feet feel comfortable.
Yeah, I say all the time, you just gotta know ain't nobody perfect and you gotta be willing to accept them flaws. If you
Yeah,
can accept that person's flaws, that's your person.
that's the strength of your relationship.
And see,
Mm-hmm.
that was
It
my
ain't that
thing.
good shit.
I didn't accept their flaws. I felt like I can change their flaws. And one
Mhm.
thing one of my counselors told me, he said, I think it was his boss. She said, James, you're not as great as you think you are because you can't change everybody.
Right.
I was like, well, I mean, I felt that I could. I felt that I could get along with anyone and I can change anyone because I had that type of hubris that I felt that I could make something out of nothing. I almost felt
Right.
like I could
You was
get
dynamic, real
mud.
dynamic.
Yeah, I felt like I can get mud and blow air into his nostrils and make whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I was failing myself because I was continuously trying to fix people and I was trying to force things, right?
But the
And
but the military program you though too though, Austin.
yeah, that's true.
See, they
And then you
program
had
you
to
to think a
learn that.
certain way. And you may not have recognized it at the time because you got so used to being that way till it was just natural. And so oftentimes we don't even realize we've been programmed.
I
And
can agree with that.
oftentimes we get programmed by a lot of different instances. We get programmed by our jobs, by what
Family.
we do at work, and we get programmed by military. We get programmed oftentimes just by life and don't even recognize that we've been systematically programmed. We don't think freely.
The
That's,
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing that I learned was you can't change nobody if they don't want to change.
Right.
but why
And
would
that was
but
the
why would
shockingest
but why
thing
would
to
but
me.
why would but why would you why would you want to like could my
Yeah, that's
woman
deep.
like for instance I could probably introduce things to my woman that I feel would make her life easier or better. But if she don't see the value in that, it won't mean anything to her.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. When I used to get lost in the sauce
Absolutely.
trying to
So,
do that.
so the power of the relationship for me is what she brings to the table and what I bring to the table as individuals. If I'm allowed to be me, I am an expert at that.
Mhm.
But if I start trying to just try to fit in for her, I'm gonna suck at that shit. Cause the minute
Mhm.
I stop fitting in, that's when she gonna have the problem. What that you used to be this. That's where the shit come in. And so I I think that uh free nothing's better than free will. Why would I want to convince my woman to want me or do something with me? Or if she don't desire that, then we're not gonna get far anyway. But you find so many people that they insecure and they they try to force a person to be a certain way or act a certain way. My woman just get to be herself, and I just get to be Kirk, man, and that shit is beautiful to me. And I wasn't always. I'm ashamed to admit I wasn't always like that,
Right.
and that's sad because when I think about my first relationship and all of that inexperience and people that didn't like me, and I never didn't know why they didn't like me. And you know what I did when they didn't like me? I tried to be more of what they like. And then guess what? I didn't like me. And then all of that effort, they still didn't like me. I still wasn't shit. And so I could have just stayed me and been not liked and let it be. So it but because I always tell people this, what you think people think of you may not be what they think. That's what you think they think. You hear people say, "Oh man, I know she know I'm a, oh man, she know I'm a good nigga. Oh, she know she, man, my woman know, man, my woman know. I put it. That's what you think.
And
That may not be what she think." And I tell my brother, he just went through a situation after being out of the relationships for 20 years almost. That's how scarred he was. He was so scarred from his marriage that he stayed away from relationships for 20 years. Finally he met this chick. Man, I like her. And I said, "Well, cool, man, cool, man. She my style, man. Man, I like her, man. I like her." I said, "Well, hey, man, just give it time." "Oh, I can't say I like her. I can't say I like." No, I didn't say that. Calm down. I didn't say you didn't can't like her. I just said just calm down and just try to get to know her. Just give it a chance. And early on, he started traveling, right? And in the traveling, he invested money, and he's close to retirement, and he's kind of got his everything in place because the military teach you. Well, for him, it taught him everything. He done went through all of this trauma with his ex. He done refixed his life, got everything in place. He know how much money he gonna have. He's paid for both of his vehicles. He's got his own spot, nice. That's almost paid for. $28,000 left on that. He got everything in place. All he needs is a mate. So he start investing. He traveling from Atlanta to Louisiana, seeing her. Immediately, a month into the relationship, she see how he's styling. She quit her job. He like, why you quit your job? Oh, I can, Them people so and so and so and so. I got sick of them people. He like, well, what you gonna do for your mortgage? Oh, I could sell tea cakes and I could make that money at home. Oh, okay. So then it became she started needing a little help. So what he gonna do? He gonna step up to the plate. Well, I help you with this, but I can't help you with that. And then once she starts saying you my man and posting on Facebook and putting him out there, now she gotta talk about what she getting. And it became too much to weight on his shoulders. He like start seeing where it's going. And then it got to the point where he saw, man, hey, man, she ain't this, she ain't that, she ain't this. Well, you the one was jumping on the bandwagon and saying so and so when I told you just give it time, man. Just give it time. Uh and it come to find out she thought he was just gonna sponsor her and he was gonna sell his house and move down there where she was. And I told him, he said, man, I said, man, you sell your house, you be a fool, man. He said, man, I'm not selling my house. I'm not moving down there.
I just hope that don't put him into a tailspin where he feel like he got to get back out there and prove himself because that failed.
Well, that ain't gonna happen, D, because he's super reluctant anyway. He was reluctant then. You know what I'm
I
saying?
want to play this for AJ. This is what I feel about women having a lot of sex, especially the younger ones with a lot of guys. This lady here broke it down. This came from a woman's perspective. People, she said.
Hi guys. Every single time a new man enters into a woman, she becomes less emotionally available. The term hoe phase might come off as a strong phrase for some people, but it describes a period of many modern women's lives. And unfortunately, it relates to a very real reality about dating and relationships today. The majority of girls grow up and are thrown into a world that values them for their beauty and sexuality without them having to actually put in any effort. This causes an inflated sense of self and places an extreme importance on the need of being wanted and desired. So women start leading with their sexual alter ego. They start equating their value to their sexual desirability. Just a few decades ago, girls would use their innate maternal and wifely skills when getting a quality man to commit to them. But now that all standards on social conduct have completely come off and sleeping around is more socially acceptable than ever before, a lot of women have fell into the trap of self-gratification and impulsive pleasure with complete disregard for its consequences later on in life. Sleeping around for women in their youth is way too easy, and it's hard to respect something that comes too easy. Even from a biological and evolutionary standpoint, a life of sexual escapades with multiple men without any kind of emotional involvement is the antithesis of the female mating strategy. In other words, a woman sleeping around goes against natural law. Scarcity creates value, and girls are depleting their value by making themselves too easily available to men. They don't realize what's waiting for them at the end of an exciting 10 years or so. They're met with a ruined reputation and a slaughtered self-image. All of their encounters with men has led them to believe that all men want is one thing and that all men are the same, because her perception of men is now extremely skewed. For men who are looking for a woman to date or marry, understand that if her past is a trail of failed relationships and one-night stands, it's safe to draw a few inferences about whether or not she's really even worth your time. Women bond with the man they sleep with, and they develop an emotional connection, which is absolutely necessary from an evolutionary perspective. But this ability to bond stops coming into fruition when she repeatedly treats sex as nothing more than a physical need to fulfill, with absolutely no emotions involved. This is why you have women who can treat sex so casually now. If you're a man, your early 20s are a time when you start at the bottom, and you need to work to make it to the top by building yourself as a man who's attractive to women. The last thing you should ever want to do on this journey is participate in the rampant hookup culture with women who don't look at you as anything more than an addition to their notch count. This is the advice I give to all men. Resist the temptation to try to have a whole phase of your own, because it will throw you off your tracks like nothing else. Find a woman who values you for yourself and build a lasting relationship on the strong foundation of trust and love.
I need you to send that to me, D.
Yeah, because that's my argument when it comes to the pair bonding. Women that can just lay down with any man at any time and just have sex with him. You know, I'm just gonna screw him and screw him and screw him and screw him. I never care for that. And then when I did run into women that was like that, they was just for sex. It wasn't no long term. I'm thinking long term relationship with them. I'm like, I'll see you when I see you. We'll hook up when you free. Hit me up.
And you know what's funny, D? You know what's real funny? They can twerk their ass off and get some head, but they can't cook shit.
Ah,
They don't know nothing about running no house.
They don't know nothing about nothing.
Well, I mean, because they're still lost. They still haven't identified who they are and what they
who
are.
they are and what they are.
They haven't identified their worth. You know, so
They're
when I
still in the discovery phase, like you said, Austin.
yeah, so and when my wife and I we were talking about this earlier today, and she was like, "Why are men always so concerned about body count when they're out there doing whatever they're doing?" And I said, "Well, the reason is they want to see their person as a precious, as like a precious diamond or rare stone or
Mm-hmm.
whatever that no one has been able to touch it, deal with it, because that when a woman when you have a woman, that woman represents you also, right? So you don't want to be walking wherever, and you can throw a stone and hit about 20 niggas that they were with, right? That's not what you want. Well, now except for Kurt, don't care. But I'm just saying.
Well,
I mean, that
exactly.
may necessarily
Well,
that I guess
well,
that ain't the kind of. I don't
well,
think it'll
I'm at,
be that deep. But I understand what you're saying.
I'm at the point. Her past don't matter to me.
Right. He's
What
at
I'm
that
saying.
point.
And
Right. See, he's
Her
I
at that
past
understand
don't
that.
point.
matter to me. What I listen. I've had hoes
And,
and
and
I've had Christians,
Hmm.
and it- that don't determine the
and you'd probably have
substance.
some Christian hoes.
Exactly. That don't determine
Right.
the substance. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I got a woman of substance. Her body count is irrelevant. You wouldn't know her body
Maybe,
count.
she just like,
What?
with men that they discover, women may discover that even more so quicker by having a whole phase or whatever. And they do discover that they need more substance. And
Right.
then they mature and grow into a woman with substance.
You couldn't see. I've been around women who were Christian, and they give off the energy that one of my partners come through there, or whatever. They give off the wrong energy that he could get with her.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? And
Mm,
I've had women with high body counts. They let you know it ain't a chance in hell you could get with this. You understand what I'm saying? So
right.
so 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 just say you every Friday night y'all have company over and y'all play spades, right? And your woman that's ain't really kicked it with about two or three niggas, and yet the clothes she got on around your friends is saying something totally different, or her posture, the way she's sitting, or even some of the things that she laugh and smile at give you the energy that, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And you can have that woman that respect you so much, it ain't a chance in hell she gonna make you feel that way. She ain't gonna come off
Right.
like that. So what I'm saying is this: You have to evaluate the person you with. I don't give a damn what her body count is. Whether she done had a bunch of dudes or had two or three dudes. If she ain't about shit, you gonna find out.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Cause I don't, man. For I always use this as an example. I remember one time I got locked up, right? And I was locked up for 15 days. During that time, I had knee surgery, right? And I
Right.
needed to go see my doctor. So I was locked up while I had to go see my doctor so he could look at my knee. Now, at that time, I was married. It was all on the news. My doctor didn't know I was in jail. A lot of my coworkers didn't know I was locked up, but it hit the newspapers, this, that, and all the other. And I was so embarrassed that I didn't want to go see my doctor. I was so hurt and so embarrassed. I didn't want my doctor to see me with shackles on and an orange suit. I felt humiliated. And so as I sat in my room that night, trying to decide whether I was gonna go and have this doctor check out my knee, I got to thinking. I said, you know what? I could walk in that hospital with a suit on and a briefcase. And I'm looking fly and everybody respecting me and whatever. And I could have a bomb in that suitcase and kill everybody in there. I could walk in there with this orange suit on and I give plasma or I give my organs or I'm willing to risk my life to save somebody else's in that hospital. And people only see me as a thug, as a criminal, or is he a murderer? Or what he did? What did he do to get here? He got to be. He got them shackles on. He got that uniform on. He got to done did something horrible. He a piece of shit. He a horrible human being. And so I got to thinking that no matter what uniform I wear, somebody gonna think what they gonna think regardless. So I might as well go ahead and go see my doctor and just hold my head up. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter what your what if my woman what if the women that I met in my life they looked at my past and said, "Oh, that nigga ain't shit." They would never see all the valuable things that I possess and what I could truly bring to the relationship. So 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 when you find substance and when you find someone and you look at someone and you evaluate them based on how they treat you, it don't really matter what they did.
In the perfect world, that's great, and that would motivate a lot of people. But
Yeah.
people that have certain preferences, and they still look at people a different way. I've had a person tell me, and I try to be, and I am upfront, or was upfront. She told me your body count is too high, so it's on both sides. So again, it just falls into personal preference.
Mm.
Just like some people don't want people with kids.
But I
Right.
think we write people off too quick.
And we
Well,
do. But if you feel that that that's something, if that's one of your uh, something that you can't
pet
deal
peeve,
with,
deal breakers.
your deal breakers, if that's something that you can't deal with, that's just something that you can't deal with. So
Hmm.
whatever you're going to, whatever that issue is, it's always going to be there in the back of your mind, no matter how well this person treats you. And
Yeah, that's true.
you could be missing out on the best person ever.
Right.
Right.
So we're
But
not
it don't
saying that
net
it's a bad thing. It's just a
yeah, it's
preference thing. And then with
the
me,
preference part is fine, but it don't net it don't net you anything.
I mean, it don't net you anything but your peace of mind if that's what you
Yes.
want.
That's
And
all
see,
it has.
my thing was, big fish, small pond, and people looking for your downfall. And you know this, Kurt. Austin know this. And so they couldn't wait to say, look at that girl, DJ Black guy. Man, my cousin and my uncle hit that. Man, we ran train on her last year after the ball game. They looking for that. So with me being self-centered, I don't care for everybody when I'm throwing parties and I got her at the door and 20 guys and I already hit her. That's just something that that's just something I personally didn't care for. And so I didn't want a woman who everybody didn't hit. And to me, the fuel, because watching the big mamas, watching the aunts from back then, like Austin said, anybody can get cubic zirconia, but a diamond, IG clarity, whatever, the diamond is rare. I just prefer to have a woman that every nigga can't touch. I don't want no woman that was friendly with the pussy. Anybody can just touch it, she just give it up. Oh, you beautiful today. You want some? Ooh, I wouldn't mind. Oh, I wouldn't mind, baby. Oh, you want some? I just didn't really care for that. And that's why if a woman came on to me so strong and I don't really know her like that, if it's somebody I'm trying to get to know, that was a turnoff to me, because I'm like, you've been doing this with everybody else, and I just didn't care to have something that everybody else can get. I'm talented. I DJ. I want my DJing to be a notch that anybody just can't do. That's why I make my blends perfect, because I just want I want something that's rare. It's not something anybody can get. You know what I'm saying? Just like I seen a guy today, I wanted these certain Jordans that I like, but I seen another guy in them, and he made them Jordans look ragged. And I said, I don't want them shoes no more. And that's just me. I'm not judging, but the shoes just didn't look good. I got a good friend who can throw on a polo shirt, and he make that polo shirt look so trashy, so I don't care to wear, that particular shirt, So that's just a preference. But it's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean that person
there's nothing wrong.
is lesser. Yeah, it don't mean that person is lesser, but women to me, and it's just to me, and the stage that I'm in. Now, 5 more years up the road, 10 years up the road, I may think different. But to me, the less a woman than laid down with multiple men, I just don't really care for that, because I'm blessed in the area. I'm blessed where the size ain't never been a problem. You know what I'm saying? That ain't a problem. It's just the fact that me knowing, just like, okay, it was a girl that wanted me, a woman that wanted me real bad, but she had messed with a partner of mine, and I know they was an item. I used to see them together. A couple of them was like this. They tried to talk to me, and I'm like, nah, I can't talk to you because you talked to him. Well, what difference do that make? That was 15, 20 years. That was 20 years, 25 years. You still used to talk to him, and I still talk to him. So I got a problem with him coming to visit me, and I'm with a female he just smashed. I just don't care for that, bro.
To me, I agree. I agree with that.
And to me, it also comes down to, how do you value yourself? What do you value about you? What makes you feel like you're special? Because if you are out there giving it to everybody, then you must not think that you are as valuable. You know what I'm saying? You must not value yourself, that you're freely giving it away. Because,
and to back that up, Austin,
it ain't even that type of party when you going through a whole phase, though. You're not worried about you just doing you, if you want,
sex.
But here,
it's just sex.
My wife put it to me this way: does a whole phase actually mean that you're out there being a hoe, because you don't really have to sleep with everybody. You can just be dating, trying to identify.
That is true as well. And you could be having sex a lot of times with the same guy, but you stop dating him and date somebody else. And then if y'all have sex, y'all have sex. If y'all don't,
But we
y'all
know
don't.
when we say whole phase, we talking about you free,
But
I'm
that's
single,
why I
and if
wanted
Joe
to.
say call me, I'm gonna pick up the phone. If Richard say what you doing, I'm gonna holler at Richard, and if we together, they come over. I wouldn't have mind fucking Richard no way, so I'm gonna give him some. That is what we're talking about. But peep this out. Peep this is another one. I be liking to get on AJ. Here we go, AJ.
Toxic feminism has taught young, beautiful, intelligent women that in order to be liberated, they need to be equal to a dusty fuckboy. So let me break it down. All the hoe phase does is transfer all the power and the dynamics from the women over to the men. The primary perk for a man in a relationship is sex. The hoe phase allows him to access sex without investing time or money. He can then go on to meet the love of his life, who will be nothing like the hoes he was sleeping with. Primary perks for women are protection and investment. She gets neither of those in the hoe phase. This dynamic leaves men with inflated egos and women with low self-worth. So stop teaching women to be equal. Teach them to be expensive. Just like I don't need to set myself on fire to know I'm going to burn, I don't need to enter a hoe phase to know it's self-destructive.
So a woman who
Hey,
values
I
her
like that.
body,
I
a
like that.
woman who values her body, because mom taught my sister to not be out there hoeing. And the way she used to say it, because my sister was kind of dark skinned, brown or dark skinned, but she had long, pretty hair. Because mom was mixed like, and she had long, pretty hair. So my sister used to come home with her head in the air because certain football players or basketball player telling her how cute she is and all that. And mom used to preach to her that, yeah, he telling you this, that, and he looking at you and telling you how pretty you are with your hair and this and that. And he say, and after he sleep with you, he'll go out there and find somebody darker than that road out there with hair this long, and she'll be pointing at her fingernail, hair this long, and tell her the same thing and forget you ever existed. So what she was teaching her was, don't be so free to give yourself up to any guy who say you cute or whatever. And she taught her value. If they want that, let them work for it. You shouldn't just be out there advertising and giving it up.
I mean,
You
we
know?
were taught no sex before marriage. We were taught you wait till marriage to have sex, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that we didn't follow.
Well,
I'm
that's
just
different. That's different compared to self-worth. When mom put that in her head, it was to teach her value your body. Any man shouldn't just be able to walk up to you, spank you on your ass, and get in your bed. So
who's
that's what
doing
I
that?
grew up seeing, and I'm preaching that to my daughter.
Yeah,
And he's
you
not.
should, as you should, because don't let no man come spank you on your ass and no, see you the
It shouldn't be so easy
man
to
don't
get
get
you
you.
in the bed.
No, it ain't about that. See, it's more of a control. If I want him tonight, I'll same way with men. If I want him, like you said, I'll do him, and if I don't, I'll be with him. You know, and I mean, I get what she's saying on your video, but she's really equating it to like material work, not
No,
necessarily.
I read that different. I just figured she said instead of just giving it up, when y'all just laying down with any Tom and Dick, and he's not
Why
offering,
do it for
not
free?
working
Why
for
do
it.
it for free?
He's not working for it.
Right. You
It's
giving
just
it up
like
for
back in the
free.
day, a man had to have something. He either had to have some type of game, like me and Kurt said last week, he had to be coming with some good wood, and the word got around. He had to put in some type of work to even get it. You know what I'm saying? He had to have something. or she just liked him. But it's not like it is today, where you sit behind a computer and type, you looking nice tonight, what you doing? Then you go and get a damn 3.5 and stop by the store and get a game and pull up over there and roll up, smoke weed, fuck her brains out and go home. Then you do the same thing the next night to another female. That's how it is now.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know nothing about that.
Oh yeah, you know about it. You ain't talking about it. But people say,
as much as people complain about hookup culture being a thing, people are the reason why it's a thing. Like, nobody wants to stay with nobody anymore. Everybody thinks the grass is greener, and they do this throughout their whole damn life. Even when they get to their 30s, and the same people that's going through that whole process, they end up missing their ex and then end up talking to their ex again or wanting to go back to them, even though their ex doesn't want them. So they sabotage whatever they got with the recent person they're with just to get with somebody that don't want them no more, that they didn't want, and that's the reason why they left them. So it's like, what else can you really do? It's getting to a point where it's like, if you can't beat them, you got to join them. Yeah, you can wait your whole life to try to find somebody that's going to be on the same type of timing as you, wants a relationship, is genuine, wants to do this, wants to do that, is going to respect you. But I'm going to be honest, there's not a lot of people like that out here. You keep hearing it over and over. It's a needle in a haystack for a genuine person to come into your life, because most people are damaged, and they're extremely damaged to the point where they just don't want to fix anything. And if you want a relationship in this generation, you got to put up with all that damaging shit that you didn't even cause.
I agree with him to some degree. The culture,
it's hard out there.
The culture has changed so much, man. Till now, you can't even get nobody to just be in the same room without being on their devices, man. I mean, people be on a date talking to other dates on their date.
Yeah, and that's because y'all allow that.
Yeah, it's that easy.
They allow that. It's certain things you ain't finna do when you with me. When we get out the car and we walk up in the restaurant, the phones go up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if I tell my girl all the time, if you say, hey baby, let's watch this movie right quick, the minute you pull that phone out, I'm gone. If you pull if we got a date night and we finna watch a movie or something, and I'm already ain't gonna come there. I already ain't gonna meet in there with my device. You pull that device up, I'm out of there. Cause it ain't nothing on that phone that you want to watch the movie. You ask me, say, hey baby, come watch this movie with me. Okay, cool. Don't go pulling out your device, because now you ain't watching the movie.
Right.
Because we gonna discuss it.
And they pick the movie.
Should women have this phase before marriage?
99.9% of people should explore their whole phase. There's healing in the hoeing. We talk about that in the book. We even had words that said, heal first, hoe later.
I didn't have an adult hoe phase. I had a child so young, and then I got married. College was my hoe phase.
They said there is healing in the hoeing. What? That is so backwards, okay? Being with multiple people, knowing that they are not at all what you need for your future. Knowing that they are not going to be beneficial to you, knowing that they're no good, they're trash, they're not going to be a good leader for you or a good husband, but still sleep with them anyways. It is helpful for you in healing. Y'all, that's so backwards.
It's very backwards.
You don't have to touch like the stove or the fire to know that you're going to get birth.
Yeah, they was
and then the diseases, they don't think about, diseases doesn't matter anymore. It's like you just go and get a shot in the ass and, call it a day.
If it's a woman that's in a whole phase and she actively slanging that coochie around and you fall for her, it ain't no respect. She don't respect you. Automatic respect. So she already coming in the gate cheating on you.
Because
she living like that. They know what I'm saying is true. Women know what I'm saying is true. If a woman, the guy who
wife the hoe.
Yeah, she don't respect that because she know you should know better than that because she know what she on.
said at first.
And I have seen that happen too, though. I've seen that happen too. He'll wife a hoe, they'll be in a relationship, and then she end up screwing one of the homies, still screwing one of her exes. I got a partner that married one of them like that. But he met her on a whole string. He fell in love. We was like, man, you supposed to set that out. But he fell in love. Didn't want
But
nobody to touch
it goes the same way for men. All I'm saying is, men, everything that I'm not saying it's our, uh, I don't know what the word is. We're not trying to just keep up and all that. No, it's not that. It's the same way. Like when you was doing it and you just wanted to control who you was with or who you spent airspace and time with during that time in your life, then that's what you did. That's who you spent airspace and time with. Okay. Fine. Okay. So if you take a man that's what was once a hoe, you can't turn him into no husband either. Or is that a risk that we all take if we do that? What about men that were whores? Are they? Do that mean they're not gonna make good husbands?
I just feel like, me personally, and from reading and studying, research, speaking with therapists, when a woman is out there carelessly getting up that cat to any Tom and Dick,
She not carelessly doing it. It's meticulously. It's preferably.
some of them, but I know some that was just careless. We just know that she'll get up. You get her
AJ
some
saying, look, she
tequila,
ain't like
you
she.
get her some tequila, a little something to drink, a little vodka, take her to New Orleans, little hurricane, let her smoke a little weed, and she'll screw the whole clique.
AJ saying, like, if she sees something she like, she ain't opposed to it. That's all she said.
Yeah, I get what she's saying, but I'm talking about the ones who just out here. Okay, they don't like Sierra, so then they see Sierra and her man at the fair, and they with their single friends, and she said, "I'm gonna fuck her man just cause I don't like her."
See, you talking about different type of hoes, not man.
Right. Now that's why I say I ain't talking about the ones that AJ talking about. I'm talking about the women. The women I'm talking about are the ones that's giving it up like that. I'll fuck them.
They ain't no good, no way. It don't matter if that shit.
They not on no
they
discovery
not
of
on no
themselves.
they not on no whole phase. They just is a hoe.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
They
It's not a
classified as a
phase. It's
hoe.
not a phase.
It ain't no. This what they do. It ain't
Yeah.
no. Yeah, it ain't no. They ain't got no. They ain't got nothing stable. It's just something they do. That's just their lifestyle. See, there's a lifestyle there, and then there's people who go through certain phases in life. But some people that's a lifestyle. This is my lifestyle. This
Right.
is common. This is what I do all the time. Ain't no other alternative to them.
And to what AJ was saying, the deal is this here. I understand if you see somebody, y'all like each other, y'all do the little one night stands and never see each other again. But it's how many times you doing those one night stands with all these different people. But like you said, if it's like a span of 2 years and you see 5 guys you like, within that 2 years, because I understand relationships don't last long now. Y'all not taking the time to get to know them. A lot of times you don't want a long-term relationship. Like I should have been in short-term. Kurt should have been in a short-term relationship. We tried to make them things long. We wasn't supposed to be there no more than 3 months, if that. And that's giving it grace.
Exactly.
So I understand you seeing somebody, you liking them. But if every damn body on the football team or the basketball team you see you like, what if I like them though and I just wanted to do it? That's a hoe.
That's not a phase.
Yeah, but that's what she's saying. That's not a phase. But we talking about two different things. Cause we got these hoes out here. It's gonna be some hoes, D.
Yeah, it's gonna
It
be some
take
hoes.
all kind of
Okay,
people
so
to
the
make the
Be some
world
phase
go
hoes out
round.
is
there.
the phase is uh
The
I
phase
just
is
got out of
that
a
you can.
relationship, and so I just want to screw as many guys as I can until I find somebody I like.
The phase is
No,
you got you. The phase is you can be a good girl, and you got good girl qualities. But because you've been scarred or you felt like you missed out on something or whatever the reason, you find a reason to just go buck wild for a couple of months
a portion of time.
You said for
or
the times about 2-3 years, right, AJ? AJ say apply time, AJ say some time. She dragged that time. So
that
shit,
pussy
that
was
about
on
3-4
that
years
pussy
right
was
there.
on that pussy was on fire. Like, oh, I
Yeah,
know.
she go on her whole phase for about 3-4 years, and then she shut it down. I'm celibate for now. I done had enough dick to last me for about 2 more years.
Woo,
Now I'm
child, I had to
celibate.
shut that thing. Hey, D. Woo, child, I had to shut that thing off. Woo, child.
Y'all
D,
tripping tonight.
D, I had to shut that
Y'all
thing
tripping.
off. Woo, for a minute there. Woo, I thought it had me.
Hey George, how you feel about the whole stage? Is George still there? Or he go.
He might be on break.
Oh, okay.
I don't know,
But
man.
what'd he
Yeah,
say?
yeah, man. So like I say, man, I done been
Now I
all over
want to
this.
hear what George is. George there?
Now he ain't moving. He froze or something.
Oh, okay.
Or he got it on mute or something.
Okay. But yeah, like I say, everybody. This is what he say, and I think he got some valid points too. Hold on. This was what
All women got a whole phase now. Some of them come back in the back end and turn in the hole when they 40s and they 50s. All women got a whole phase. You got to let them get it out. She just getting out her whole phase. That's all. She gonna make a great wife one day. So Travis, don't leave your hoe, my nigga. Don't be like dead Brian Hollis on the internet trying to encourage other niggas with they hoe. No, nigga. Shit, no. And then, nigga, can't nobody validate your pimping. Yeah, can't no motherfucking body validate a nigga's pimping, my nigga. Let him do what he do. But nah, she gonna grow out of her whole state.
He an interesting character, man.
Mm-hmm.
D, I
but
sent
all
you some.
women,
Hey, D, I
they
sent you some bad. Hey, man, I sent you some. I sent you some stuff today, man. I hope you check them videos out, man.
yeah, I think I looked at 2 of them real brief. I
Cause
got some ideas.
one of them reminded me of you, man.
I know.
The dude said, "Hey, if I'm with her, I take care of everything." That couple there, I think it might have been the third video. He said, He said, I make 7 figures. I pay for everything. Did you see that one yet?
No, I ain't see that one. I saw like the last 2.
Check him out. That's a good dude to follow, man.
Yeah, I mean, like the girl said that was on here last week. Out here in this dating world now, you got men sitting around talking to women like, how much can you contribute to my bills? And like a guy posted, if a woman can't satisfy him financially and mentally, he don't need her. And I'm like, first off, I ain't never gonna get no bitch to pay my bills. Them my bills.
Yeah.
Where they find them at?
I don't know. But hey, that's what's up. You heard the girl last week. She said, out here today, men asking women, if we get together, what can you contribute? Now, when Kurt say what you bring to the table, Kurt talking about emotional stability, things like his peace of mind. He talking about stuff like that, not finance.
Exactly.
Even though we all agree that anything they bring is an addition to what you have. but
Exactly.
it's not required, because to me, if she decides she want to leave tomorrow, I'm gonna still want my lifestyle. So why
There
should
you
I
go.
have my happiness dependent on if she stay with me or not?
Exactly.
I don't do that. And so I'm gonna make sure that I'm taking care of everything for me. So if even if we, let's just say she say, let's move out of this house and get another house, I'm still gonna make sure that if she leaves, I can afford the mortgage.
There you go.
Right.
Because I'm not going to be walking on pins and needles, begging nobody to stay with me, coming home, don't want to come home. I'm sad and miserable in a place that I got to lay my head and I'm paying the mortgage on. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And if I have to leave, I'll leave everything I got and go get me a 2-3 bedroom that I want. I don't
There
need
you
5
go.
bedrooms. I'll
There
go
you
get me
go.
a 3 bedroom. I'll go get 2,500 square feet. I don't need 44 square feet for 4,400 square
I
feet.
can't tell you how important peace of mind is, man.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
That
And when
shit
you
is
get peace of
vital.
mind, and like I say, just like Kurt got his little man cave over there, I needed space. And with this space we have, 4,500 square feet, I'm able to, sometimes I don't even see her. She don't see me. We have to go to the room. I have to go in there where she at to see her. When her brother was living here, I didn't see him every day because I'm up here doing my thing. He was downstairs doing his. He leave, go to work, he come home. Sometimes I ain't even see him.
There you go.
But when you in a smaller space and they walking in front of the TV and you know y'all all up on each other, I would do that if I had to, but I prefer the space.
Yeah.
So it's like you have that distance because she being there looking at Charmed and all that Lucifer crap. I don't care for none of that. So she be in there looking at that. I be in here doing this. And we don't see each other. She go to sleep. I get through in here about 1-2 o'clock in the morning. When I go, I just go to sleep. I'm up at 6 or 7 in the morning, and I'm out. You know what I'm
There's a
saying? So
couple.
and that's how we, that's how we live. It ain't like we cramped up and you take a key and you stick it through the keyhole and you poke somebody. No, I can't live like that.
One
You
of the
know.
videos I sent you, the guy asked him how y'all been together for 30 years, 30 plus years. That was one of the videos I sent you, D. Make sure you watch it. He was like, she able to be her who she is, and I'm able to be who I am.
Yeah, now I felt you on that. And that was an issue that I had coming into this relationship.
Right.
Because I was so used to this, and that. And
Right.
if we're gonna be married, you can't do this, you can't do that. I don't like this, I don't like that. And it was all about me.
Yeah.
And she didn't have a chance to be her.
Yep.
And I had to realize, and that's why I said I got the guy who married us, he's married to my aunt. He broke that down till you have to be a leader. And the key thing is you have to let people be people.
Yeah, you can't be a control
Who
freak.
they are. Well, I don't like this and that. See, she like people. I don't.
Yeah.
So I didn't want none of the people coming over here on no regular basis because I don't like people. I want to be able to walk and do whatever I want to do. But when your company down there and they stay until 10, 11 o'clock, now I got to maneuver around my house a certain way.
Yeah.
But if she like people and that is her thing, she's family oriented, I'm not. So if she want her moms to come down, her sister to come down, it took a minute for me to accept that. Or her friends from Louisiana to come down.
Right.
You know, but the space, the fact that when she had company, they don't see me.
You got somewhere you can go.
They don't see me. Because I'm
Thank
upset. I
God
go
for
down
that.
every blue moon when she in the kitchen cooking. You know, I speak to everybody, hey, how y'all doing? She let me know when she gonna get through cooking. I go back
Unless
upstairs.
you want to be seen.
Unless I want to be seen. I come back upstairs. I'm in the bedroom watching the projector or whatever. They bring the food up. I got a refrigerator in my room. I got a microwave in my room.
Occasionally, she might bring somebody, or she might have a family member that you cool with. And you don't
Right.
mind kicking it a little bit.
And they come where I'm at. I'm not down there with the women.
There you go.
He up here with me, And so that's how I'm able to manage mine. But at first, I didn't want none of that.
See, you're an introvert and an extrovert.
Yeah,
See,
that's part of the Gemini thing.
You can do both.
Right. If I have to. But
exactly.
I didn't at first. I didn't
the fact
prefer
that you go DJ at clubs and be around a bunch of people, that within itself tell you got extrovert
with this
capabilities. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to drink.
But what you rather be is somewhat chill doing your own thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so
and see that's
what I have to learn. She's emotional. She's emotional. Yeah. Things bother her.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Never gave. I stopped giving a shit at 10 years old. I remember when I got beat for something I didn't do at 10 years old. And I carved on my bedroom wall, fuck it. And I've been fuck it ever since. And I don't care. I love myself. I don't care if that doorbell rings. I don't care if nobody ever called my phone. I'm good with me because I got so much going on up here that I could be doing, from my computer work to my DJing. It's just so much I could be doing, not to mention my job.
I'm
testing like for my job right now. They got me doing tests right now for my job. And I didn't know I had the test to do until Friday. And now I'm in here started Monday, taking some goddamn tests on my own. No Zoom meeting. I'm reading and taking quizzes my damn self. And I have to pass these things. I have to pass.
Never shut down, man. You like me.
You can't.
I don't get enough sleep because this son of a bitch won't shut down enough. And so I wake up early. The most
hours of sleep I get is 4. I get 4 hours of sleep. That's all I need. And that's all I do. Look, if I go to bed at 2 o'clock, I'm back up at 6.
Exactly.
All I can get is 4 hours. If I go to bed at 12, I'm back up at 5, 3 or 4. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm up. I just can't get more than 4 hours. Even when we take long trips, going to Louisiana or going to Florida, if I come back and it's 2 in the morning, by the time we shower, lay down, it's 3. I'm back up at 7 when the sun come up. I don't sleep.
I'm the
when
same
the sun
way,
come up, I gotta be up. If I'm still in the bed, it's something wrong.
It's like I'm still working, man. It's like my mind, like, man, I'm telling you, man, ain't no way. I don't see how people stay in the bed 10 hours, 12 hours.
I don't see how they stay in the bed 5. And that's the thing too. See, she likes to cuddle and stuff.
Yeah.
But when my eyes open, I got so much shit I could be doing.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to get up.
Carve out that cuddling time as well.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm learning to work on. But that's not something I'm used to doing.
So,
but the last couple of weeks, I've been like, okay, I ain't really got to be in there. Like, I was supposed to do my DJing thing Friday or Saturday. I didn't even do it all because she was off, she chilling. And I was like, okay, I ain't gonna do it this week. I'm gonna do the family thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning to do that now. I'm today years old learning to do that shit. Because it's all about.
And you starting to volunteer it.
Right. That was my first time volunteering.
That's what's important.
Yeah. And I didn't do that. I'm just now doing that. And like I say, it's called things that I've been hearing on the podcast.
Because if she start asking, then that means it's an issue. People don't talk about what's not an issue. When people start mentioning shit, it's already an issue. Because they had to build up the courage. They had to build up the courage to even to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. And in mine, no, I'm so self-centered. So when she comes with a question, she said, I want to ask you something, but don't get upset. I don't want you to take it no type of way. I'm just asking.
Yeah. And she got to prep you before she asks you, because she don't want you like, Oh hell no, that shit ain't happening.
Right. Because she already know I'm on 10 already. So she
Yeah,
like, let me find a way to ask him this.
right.
Can we go to, where does she want to go? Five Guys. Now she know I don't believe in spending no goddamn $12 on one damn burger.
One burger.
And she like, I gotta, can I ask you something? I don't want you to get mad, but I got a taste for Five Guys. We ain't ate there in 2 years. And I'm like, if we done made it 2 years without eating there, why you gotta eat there now? We
Like,
got
I
Grand
didn't like the
at the
shit
house.
then.
I can
I didn't
saute
like the
onions
shit
and
then. Shit was overpriced then.
Thank you. But she asked if she get
You ain't shit, boy.
without me judging her. And I'm like, hey, I posted a picture. I think it was like 2 years ago, man, when we was down here. I said she wanted to go somewhere where they fix the food in front of you.
Yeah,
I took her ass to Subway. They fix the food in front of you. We ain't gotta be at How About You. I said, if you want to see somebody fix the food in front of you, Subway do that.
Why you ain't shit?
You know.
Why
Shit,
you ain't
man, How About You, man, you paying shit $50, $40 a damn plate. Yeah. Don't get no drink. Man, I got the receipt. That shit was $90 at a goddamn hibachi. No, sir. It's gonna be a minute before we go back there.
That little old food they serve you don't taste like shit, boy.
Now this one was pretty good. It's just that it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a good one over here. It's just pretty good.
Man, I went to me and my girl went to a restaurant. See, my second ex-wife, man, she had this. See, she was so pretty. She always had niggas sponsoring her, and every place had to be upscale. Every place had to be this and that.
I hate it for her.
Every place we go, overpriced. Her hair do $400. I remember the first time she told me it cost $400 to get her hair braided. I told her motherfucking ass, I said, listen, I don't give a fuck. You coming here bald headed. I'm not giving you no $400 to get no hair done. I said, $400? Man, listen, man. Dude, listen. That's just robbery, man. And then I watched her, and she had 2 Africans on her head braiding that shit.
Yeah.
And then her whole head, all this shit so. Whole head just tight.
Oh, women go through hell to be pretty.
That shit didn't mean nothing to me, man.
But a lot of times I had to learn. Women do that because they want to feel good about themselves. That's why they get their hair, nails, toes, and all that shit done. That makes them feel good about themselves. Yeah. And if you want to do that every now and then, every blue moon, the nails, that ain't but, and we got a partner that do the nails called, her name, Mel, and her shop called Mel Nailed It. But it's tight. But she gets them done pretty much free. But getting the nails done, once a month, I got no problem with that. Yeah, I got no problem.
AJ, you could go get in that shower, wash that hair real good, get some of that good shampoo, slick that shit down, and come in that bedroom, and it's on. I don't give a damn.
Sometimes they need little fill-ins, and fill-ins ain't nothing. Then we get them free. So every now and then we go, she go to the salon up here when we can't get Mel to do it, because Mel stay like 45 minutes away. So if it's something we finna do, like anniversary, birthday, or we finna go out of town or something, and we can't get in touch with Mel, I got no problem paying a little $40, $50 to get the little nails done, and
Hey, D Black, them other dudes, they work, man. They still working. Or they on curfew.
Who that?
Them other guys on the podcast. They gone.
They gone.
They on curfew or they working?
They working. We gonna say they work.
They on curfew.
Nah, they working. But, I think George probably had a lot going on. George probably was tired. George been doing a lot today. He been texting me all day. I gotta read his messages too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you say,
whatever.
the stage is. Let me see what
One
this
thing
one's
I
saying.
learned in my hoe phase was I'm not a one night stand girl. Like, I could be physically attracted to someone. They could be so amazingly sexy and like the conversation is good, but my cat won't get wet for strangers. It has stranger danger. Like, yes, kitty cat has stranger danger. And I realized that like I am just not a one night stand girl. And I get that females do it and it's exciting and it's exhilarating. But I learned during that phase in bars, in conversation, in different moments with attractive men that it wasn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't get myself there. And like I thought it was something I was supposed to do during this period of my time, like period of my life. But I just realized it's not doing it for me.
Yeah, I'll be
And
scared
so-
of her. I'll be scared of her.
Every now and then you meet a woman that don't want to lay down with different guys.
But
Like
I'll be scared of her. You get with her, and then her cat might not get wet for your ass, and you married to her. I'll be scared of her.
But I got another partner of mine that was on here one time. He was on here a few weeks ago. He's a person who can't get aroused unless he likes that person. They have to have some type of connection. And I'm like, nigga, you better learn to have sex without feelings, But so he don't do sex that much at all because he have to like the person, and he's not around people to like him. So he just been all this time, don't care, no sex. It's not a part of his life. It's not a part of anything. He can care less if he ever get. Well, he wants sex, but he can care less if he ever get it because he done went so long without it.
Yeah.
I think like for my brother, man, I think what happened to him, man, is really like when we was in high school, man, he was the shit, man. The number of women he used to bring through there, man, in early college years, the number of women he used to score on, man, I looked up to him. And so to see him now, man, like after his second wife, after she drug him, man. When I say she drug him, she tied him to the car feet first and drug him on his head. She drug him. He just different, bro. He ain't got that level of confidence. Like he always worried about what a chick gonna do or take from him when he don't realize his own power. Like, can't nobody do nothing to you, man. What is he talking about? I never worry about what a woman gonna do to me. Like, I'm gonna be able to
Bounce back
well, I'm gonna be able to see
before she do it.
before she do it.
Yeah, that's me. Like I told you when we were talking.
Yeah.
I'm used to shutting down because I love myself and I'm good by myself.
Yeah.
So when I see something seeming like it's about to go left,
you see
I automatically shut back down and I'm in my solo survivor mode.
You see certain things, you already start preparing yourself.
Yeah.
You're not worried about what somebody else gonna do because can't nobody do nothing you don't allow done to you. You can allow a lot of shit done to you. You have way more control than you think you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my thing always was, and I found that out on this podcast too, I don't have a level of insecurity where I'm worrying about where she gonna go, who she gonna mess with. It's not that. And it's not a trust issue per se thing. I have more of a being played issue. Right. Because of my intellect, what I know where I come from, you ain't gotta play me because I give you the floor to say and do whatever you want to do. Right. When you get into you trying to undermine and insult my intelligence and play on my top, go behind my back, that's when I have a problem.
Right, because the minute you say some bullshit, I'm gonna recognize it because I've been on top of game. That's the thing.
You can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Hey, so that's the thing.
I have more of a getting played issue. I can give a fuck what you do, where you go, who you do it with, because just as much as you can do, I bet you I got more bitches wanting me than you got niggas wanting you. And these bitches that really want me, them guys just want to sleep with you. They don't want that damn headache.
Hey, let me tell you how my
Women
daddy
don't understand that either.
Let me tell you how my daddy used to do us when we was lying to her. He'll say, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And he said, he'll look at you. He'll say, hey, you think I'm a damn fool?
You know what? I don't even do that. When I know the kid, anybody lying to me, I just say okay, and I get quiet and I get away from them. Because if you can sit there at a straight face and lie to me,
yeah,
I'm already second guessing your character. I'm just gonna say okay, you don't want me to know, and I'm gonna leave that shit alone. But if I ask you about it, 8 times out of 10, I already know. I'm just seeing if you're gonna be honest when I ask you about it.
Yeah. And that's why, like I told my girl, I said, look, your sister, I said, you keep that trifling bitch away from me. I said, she trifling. I said, she sit there and she asked you for $60, and you told her, she said, girl, I give Kurt she told her sister, girl, I give you $60, Kirk will have a fit. And then she said, don't tell him.
Hey.
My
Yeah,
girl said, I tell my man everything.
The
I don't
world
lie. She said, I
is a
don't
dog
lie.
eat dog world now,
I
man. It
don't
ain't
lie to
no
my man.
loyalty. It's the world is selfish now, bro.
Yes.
From brothers, sisters, the world is selfish.
Yeah. And my
it is
girl
what
told
it
him,
is.
I tell my man everything. I'm not gonna lie to him to just give you $60. I'm gonna risk my relationship to give you $60. So I'm not gonna lie to him about no $60. I'll tell him, and if he say yeah, then you get it. If he say no, then you don't. It's that simple. Because I told my girl, see, my girl free-hearted.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk about free-hearted, I'm talking about free-hearted. When Cameron went to college, she spent $1,100 on stuff for him to go to school. Microwaves, clothes, a little refrigerator, lamps, a laptop, all kind of shit. And I have to cut her off. Said, baby, look, I get what you're doing, but hey, you ain't got to do all of that. Well, she, especially Cassidy, my daughter. Cassidy used to go shopping every time Chelsea, let's go shopping. Okay. So I realized that her heart is just so big, man. And I had to take control and say, listen, every financial decision come through me. I don't even want you. If somebody answer the door, if a salesperson answer the door, tell him you have to speak to my man. Because I was asleep one day. I just got home from work, laid down, man, and there was a motherfucker in my house showing up what a goddamn new vacuum cleaner doing. I woke up, she said, but baby, it does everything. I said, do that motherfucker get up and turn on by itself and vacuum the house and wash the dishes and wash the car and vacuum? I said, do it do all that by itself? Nope. I said, well, then we don't need it.
Well, me personally, I don't especially something like that. I don't even want my open the door for the Jehovah's Witness. We don't open the door for other men when I ain't at home.
Right. But hey, D.
We don't do that. I like I said, I grew up watching Mama, and like I told you when me and you was talking.
Let me tell you, I ain't fooled her. What happened? A lady came to the door saying, "Do you want some free soap?" And when she came, when she said, "Well, we got these soap samples to try," she said, "Let me go to the car get the soap samples." When she came back, a dude had the soap samples and the goddamn vacuum cleaner.
Okay. Yeah.
And she was like, baby, well, he just and she real introverted, man. So she feel awkward. Like we was at the hospital, man, and the nurses wasn't taking care of her daddy. And her daddy had quadruple bypass. And you know how you start to slide down in that bed
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you crunched and you uncomfortable. And he really couldn't move. He can't get himself up. You can see that uncomfortable look, and his brow was just sweating. So my girl's looking at this and ain't saying shit because they already at the hospital. I just got to the hospital. I got off work. I'm like, y'all don't see y'all daddy in distress? Uh, well, we was gonna call the nurse. Oh hell no, man! I first of all, I got a cold towel and wiped his brow. I went to that nurse station. I let their ass have it. Now it ain't my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they
Right.
just so non-confrontational, D. They grew up like that. Uh, they respect authority of adults, and they don't like to like she won't complain about food at a restaurant. None of that shit. If that shit ain't right, oh, I'm finna let you know it.
Yeah, that's me.
You know what I'm saying? I just paid you $40, $50 for this shit, and this shit trash. I
Yeah.
got
Right.
it. If I don't tell you how to do better, you gonna serve the next po bastard the same bullshit.
And he
I'm
may
gonna help
not
you.
be as lenient as you. And that's what I be telling people. That's how I do people I deal with, period.
Yeah, I'm
If
finna
you
help you
got some
get
fucked
better.
up ass ways, I don't let you slide no more. I'm gonna
Yeah, I'm
tell
finna help you
you
get better around me.
where you fucked up at. And I'll tell everybody, y'all gotta stop letting these people get away with fucking over you because they're gonna do the wrong person like that and they're gonna get a bullet in their head.
Yeah.
But then you find yourself constantly telling people, you'll look around and you be like, damn, all I do is tell people where they had me fucked up at. And you get tired of that.
Mm.
But you listen
That's why I
though,
don't have no
really though,
friends.
listen.
I cut
If you
people off.
paying
I
your
don't creep
money,
no more.
AJ, if you paying your money and you go to a restaurant, man, you ain't no way you could sit there and let people get away with bringing you cold ass food or your order is incorrect or
Right.
none of that shit, man. You have to
I
complete.
had somebody play with my allergy, but I mean, I still tipped her though too. She played with my allergy, but I still did tip her. You're right. I
Well, you
shouldn't
Yeah,
ain't
have gave
gonna
her
man.
get no
shit
tip.
because I had
You
to
know,
take
they believe in
Benadryl.
that automatic annuity down here.
Gratuity, yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Mm,
They big
that
on
should
that shit
be.
in Atlanta, man. I mean, and D, they high. And
Yeah,
all your celebrities that's got restaurants, they gratuity like 20%.
yeah.
hmm
They want you paying that, man. But hey, I'll be telling them I'm not paying that.
So it's
Yeah.
automatic.
Yeah, they want it to be. But then I
Mm,
called the manager over there. Like we went to the vault. I'm gonna have to post a picture. We went to the vault. It's like a bank, and you go in there. It's a restaurant bar type deal.
Right.
hmm
And the pasta was overcooked. It was terrible.
mm,
And they had that gratuity stuff in there. And I was like, I need to see the manager. I'm not tipping and I'm not paying that. So they took
hmm
off the overcooked pasta. We didn't have to pay for that. But I ended up trying oxtail there. That was my first time eating it. And I just paid for the oxtail. It was like $30 and our drinks or whatever. But
How did you like
they
them?
it was cool, but I know somebody can cook it better.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. But it was cool. But but yeah. Yeah, it's
But
cool.
but but D, I've been knowing you a long time, man. And I could see the growth, man, and it's good,
Oh yeah.
man, because man, there's a lot of shit you just didn't allow, man. I mean, the fact that you even admit to yourself that you self-centered.
It
You
took
know what I'm
this
saying?
podcast.
A lot of people wouldn't even do that.
Yeah, it took me on here. It was some females will come on, and then they'll be like, "Oh, he arrogant," and it's not that I'm arrogant. I'm actually convinced the shit that I do, I done. It ain't no I want to do, he want to be. I've done this shit, so it ain't no that I'm convinced because I know what I can do. I know what I have done. I know what I'm doing. But I had to. It's a time for it. And when you in a relationship, the ego can't overtake the relationship,
Right.
and that's where my issue was.
Right.
I'm so caught up on it got to be this way, that way, this way, that way. I wasn't brought up like that. I wasn't raised like this, so you can't do this, and that was wrong. You know.
Yeah, and you had to
And,
learn to respect your relationship because your mother, your parents, and your sisters, yeah, they required a lot of respect. So if you were a woman too, you got to respect her if she a real woman. You know,
right.
and that's the part you had to learn. Hey
Yeah.
man, I got. It's got to be a little bit of give and take. It can't just be
Yeah.
all my way.
And that's what I had to learn. And once I learned that, I had no problem with it. But nobody ever told me that. No woman ever stood up to me after all the people I dated. It was always my way or no way. And they try to fit in my square.
Yep, because you'll
And,
bounce.
you know,
I'm
then when
out.
I get tired, I just leave. They don't even know I'm gone. All they know is I ain't answering the phone no more and I ain't coming over. Shit, they may see me another week later, another broad in the cup. I
Hey,
ain't
that's
told
what
them
a
that.
girl did to
I
me.
ain't
She
know
was
we.
so
I ain't
hot.
know we had broke up.
That's what happened. A girl was so hot, man. The chick I was telling you about that passed away.
Yeah.
When I bounced up, man, I ain't even tell her, man. So she saw me, Stuart. You know Stuart.
Yeah.
Stuart was throwing a party, and he invited me over, and she was there, and she walked up to me, bro. I don't know what she was drinking. Threw it on me. You son of a bitch.
Hey.
What you mad at? Cause you got
Yeah,
got.
cause I ain't finna. I'm not in the business of begging nobody and trying to keep somebody that don't want to be kept. I'll warn you, and after that, man, I'll move on. Cause I know my options, and I ain't got to stay in nothing I don't want to be
But
in. And
see,
I'm not.
I'm gonna tell you a secret, AJ. Me and Black we was low down though. We was selling we was selling wolf tickets. We were putting that good wood down. We know we putting that good wood down. We know where they head was gonna be already. They had to get weaned off of it, and we didn't even give them time to wean off of it.
Dang, we gone.
Yeah, out.
We gone.
When you
And
put
all that
that good
picking up the
wood
phone
down,
fussing,
man.
I ain't do that. I just click.
Yep.
So he forwarded my calls now. Then they come up, beating on the window, knocking on the door. I ain't come to the door. For what?
Yep.
And if you keep beating, I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna put the laws in your life. You know. So yeah, it was hell. It was hell. But I thank God for growth though.
Yeah.
I thank him for growth. Because when you look back though, it ain't nothing that you 100% proud of, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Some incidents funny.
And you
You
have no
know,
regrets.
nah, at all.
I had this
You know,
one.
at
I
first,
had this one girl though. I really kind of
yeah, at
hate.
first I ran quite a few off,
I
but
had this one girl I hate. I hurt, man. I hate. I hurt. She was so gone by me, man. Oh, she was so. She
well,
was.
I kind of let them know that we wasn't in that space no more before I vamped. They know, they just don't know when.
No, I didn't even
And
do
I'm
that,
sure
dude.
they be on the phone. Good, I don't know when he gonna leave me, but he didn't this and he didn't do that, and I didn't see him last night. So they knew that they fucked up. You
I
know,
didn't even
they
do
just
that. I didn't even do that, D.
yeah. I would do that with certain ones. They know that I'm fading away, you know.
Yeah,
And
It
then
was
we,
some of them, like I say,
one
when it
girl.
wasn't really nothing, when it was just a sex thing, it wasn't really nothing. I didn't care. They didn't need to know. But if it was somebody I was dealing with,
Yeah,
they kind of know because I'm gonna let them know. Like you say, it's not when you bring it up. That's when it's an issue.
yeah,
You know. So when I say, hey, I don't like this, and I don't like when you do that, or you start doing this, and then they keep doing it, and they know I don't like it, that's grounds for me to get out of it.
yeah,
And you know, I was like a spade player. I always had 1 and 3 possibles.
yeah. You
So
start looking for a way out though.
yeah, I always have
yeah.
1 and 3 possibles. I'm waiting on you to mess up. And sometimes when me and one of my possibles and got so close, I'm waiting on you to fuck up so I can jump over there to the possible. I never took a 3-month, 2 to 3 month break in between relationships. When I'm out of one, I'm in another.
Yeah,
That's unhealthy.
And very unhealthy. Very unhealthy.
but at the
You
same
know,
time, I ain't never finna be by myself unless I want to.
that's it. But the difference in that, though, when I think about it, and because of the podcast and therapy on here and knowledge, I was already checked out for a
Yep,
year or so. So when I got with somebody, it was just like I took that time off
or you had already
Mm-hmm.
measured.
because
You
I
had
was
already
already checked
measured.
out.
You had already measured how far it was gonna go to begin with. A lot of times, you already know what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I know for me, a lot of times I already know it wasn't going nowhere. It was.
But
It
like I
wasn't
said,
even.
even when it does, like so when we together, let's just say the long term relationships, the 5 year plus, uh, like you said, in them 7 years, Kurt, that you was still in that, it was just for the kids. You was already mentally and emotionally checked out of
Absolute,
the marriage.
absolutely.
So that's how when I say, you know what, I ain't had no break. Everybody I talk to is like one end and that's one because I stay there, wean myself off completely and leave because I refuse to be the one who left and come back.
Right.
I'm gonna make sure that shit dead before I leave the house.
Yep.
You know, because I see too many people break up. Fu. They
Mm-hmm.
screw 5, 6 different guys, and he's screwing 5, 6, 8 different women, and then 3, 4, 5 years down the road, they back together.
Yeah.
For
Looking like
months.
fools after they done
Mm-hmm.
told all the family members, all the friends that nigga wasn't shit, she ain't
We
shit,
told
and
social
now they back
media and
together.
everything. They
Yeah.
ain't
Ain't
Yeah,
talked
somebody
about
on
each
here?
other on social
talked up
Get
under
media.
her
married?
clothes and
Ain't
all that
that'll
shit,
get
and now
back
you back
together?
with her. That last child is Willie's and it ain't yours, but you back with her. I don't
I
get
know.
that.
You sound like you know somebody.
I don't get that.
It sound like
Majority of
somebody.
everybody I talk about on this podcast, I know.
It sound like somebody you know.
And then you went back to her, and now y'all back together forever. Still
Yeah.
married today. She probably fucking around. He probably messing around too. But they
I
back
don't
together.
see nothing wrong with a little bumpy
I
grind.
don't get it. I ain't going back to no shit like that.
Mm-mm.
Oh
But yeah,
man,
all you got to do is all I got to do is know. I don't see how them guys know them women, then effed over them, and they go right back to them.
yeah.
Maybe they
But
in
I
love.
also understand some. I was talking to the lady about this here, and she said the dating world is so messed up now.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of women are finding themselves going back to what they're familiar with,
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The devil
and I
you
was
know is
like,
better
damn,
than the devil you don't know.
yeah. And that was at first that was kind of crazy, but I've heard other people say that too. And then I say that other girl, that little celebrity, Maury, whatever her name is, left Corey, and now she back with him. She found out that the new dating world ain't shit. Um,
You look at your girl Jennifer Lopez. She be all over the place. She'd have been with Ben Affleck twice. They done got divorced again.
Mm.
yeah, that
See,
just when it's like that, that shit just ain't gonna work.
yeah, she a clown though. See, she want to be in charge for her. That's Jennifer Lopez want to be in charge. See, she'd have been ran through. Now she got plenty of paper, and she want to run things. See, she'd have been ran through though.
Yeah, she been around the block.
When the brothers got to her, they punished her. You know, she been with, and then she went with simple dudes. She went with that and had a baby for that actor. He real. I guess he got some Spanish in him or something. He looked real weak to me though.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the movie with what's his name oh man, I can't think of nobody's name. Man on Fire, Denzel Washington. He was in that movie. Mark Anthony.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he
Yeah,
was a
she was
singer.
married to Mark Anthony. He looked like a simp to me.
Yeah, I
And then
thought he was a singer.
she was with Ben Affleck. Then she was with Wesley
Did
Snipes.
it at one time,
Wesley
Master P
Snipes.
was the first.
So what?
Master P jumped it off back in the day.
And then Wesley Snipes punished.
Well, she was with Diddy too, wasn't it?
Puff Daddy
Yeah.
hit her. Jenny was around the block. She was around the way girl.
Mm-hmm.
She
Yeah,
would get
like
on.
the
She was
Master
trying to
P
get
hit her.
on.
I think when she was on Living Color or somewhere around in that time.
Yeah, she was a dancer.
Master
She had
P.
that big old ass. And so she was getting around. You mean Jenny from the block?
Dang. But yeah, man. But yeah, so what we saying, AJ, we understand that women have the same desires or even desire more than men when it comes to sexually. But a lot of people view that different. The ones who were taught that your body is your temple and mother civilization and all that stuff. The Muslims, I was 5%er, so I studied the 5% nation at one time. And when you hear all of that and how they praise the woman, and then to see some of the women that just don't care nothing about their body, that's just getting it up, degrading themselves. And like many of the videos were saying that when women were talking, they was like, they it's a downgrade to a woman. See, a woman is already born with value.
Number one, if it's a woman that's in a whole phase.
Not that. A woman is born with value. Men have to build their value. And a lot of men build value through the women that they talk to. You know, how many women you have sex with determines a man's value. That's why the phrase is women control sex, men control relationships. And so you guys have to give permission to enter you all. And according to a lot of beliefs and the way people think, the more women sleep with, the less their value is. And that's, like I say, if you're looking at, and we're not saying, when they say value, they're not talking about your personality, and all that. They're saying, from what I get, they're saying, just like they were saying on the videos, if anybody can jump up there and go pick up a rock, what's special about that rock? If you can just walk down the street and pick up a rock, but you're not just gonna walk down the street and pick up no diamond, an emerald. You're not just gonna see that. So if you one of those people that wants things of value that's rare, like, okay, like Kurt. I'm gonna go back to Kurt. Growing up, Kurt, when you would see, I'm gonna say your granddad and his peers, okay?
Right.
When you would see Miss Wilson, Miss Williams, Miss Jones, when you were 9 and 10 years old. Miss Jones was pretty. Miss Jones, you know how they dressed back then them days. They wasn't showing nothing. They was well covered up.
Absolutely.
And men just would sit there and look, and you would hear maybe granddad or your uncles or somebody say, that is a beautiful woman right there. And they just praised Mr. Jones because they couldn't touch Miss Jones.
Yeah.
Everybody, man, I sure wanted her. She wouldn't talk to me, man. She wouldn't give me none. And I know you heard them conversations because I did.
Yeah.
And that's if you grew up seeing that and you patterned that because you saw how proud everybody spoke of Miss Jones that was on Mr. Jones' shoulder. And that's where Austin was coming from when he said the woman represent the man. Okay, now we don't know what was going on with your in-laws, but we still kind of looked up to her because I can't name nobody I even heard she was creeping with.
Yeah.
And you know they talk in the church.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of nobody she was creeping with, but you know the other one that the daddy was creeping with that I thought was, and you told me, hey, that's her. You know, and I didn't know that. You get what I'm saying? Because I looked at her on a pedestal, but it took you to tell me that she wasn't on that pedestal. The one who got the baby, you know. So I didn't know that, but we can't say we ever heard nobody that the missus was with, because I didn't.
Exactly.
And we looked up to her. So the women who had who every man couldn't get. Women that the pastor was sleeping with, women that the deacons were sleeping with, they were just Jezebels, they were considered sluts or whatever, hoes in the church. But then the women who they couldn't touch, who respected their man, even though that man was out there doing whatever in them streets, and she was beautiful and wasn't messing with his friends, out of deacons, out of pastor at this church or that church, those women were praised or looked up on a higher level, or they were placed on a pedestal. So and seeing that as
she still look amazing, D.
8, 9, 10 years old, seeing that made you say, well, that's what I want. I want somebody where when I step up in there, men saying, man, I tried. She wouldn't talk to me. I don't see how he got her. Man, how the hell you get her? You know, I tried everything. She wouldn't even look at me. I threw money at her and everything.
Yeah.
You know, but once you reach a certain stage, none of that even matter. It's just all about what makes you happy. And whether she done had 1,000 people, whether she done had 200, it don't matter because you're looking at that person as your person.
Right. See, D, here's the thing, man. I've been all of that particular. Like my woman got to be a particular look, a particular size. Her body count got to be a particular thing.
Yeah, you've been there, done that.
I done been all of that. You know what I'm saying?
And at the end of the day, what matters is who is there for you.
At the end of the day, the woman I got now, her body count, I would never meet them people. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it don't matter.
It don't matter. And so when I look at the grand scheme of things, it taught me that I need substance, not so much. I'm not worried about looks and none of all that other shit. I done had all of that.
Right.
And it don't hold its weight in gold to me, man, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, I got an uncle right now at a fucking nursing home, excuse my French. And his wife just gallivanting all over like he ain't in the nursing home, bro. And
right.
I went to see him
I mean, like I
say,
at the end of the day, like I preach to people, you got to find somebody who like you. And if you lucky, I mean, and that's your friend. And if you lucky enough to find those other qualities that you're looking for, hey, run with it.
Hey, D.
But don't let that be.
Houston, when I was in Houston, we went to see my uncle. He blind. right? And so, you know what he asked us? Where KK at? Where my wife at? Where my wife at? And that shit broke
Yeah.
my heart, boy. You know
Yeah, you
what I'm
gotta
saying?
have somebody who care about you.
And shit broke. And she said I just couldn't deal with it cause I can't be with him every minute. He need to go use the bathroom, or he need to do this, or he need to do that. Well,
But you know
that's what you
that
signed up for.
a lot of women that's in that, I guess the baby boomers or whatever.
No,
A
she
lot
older
of
than me.
women.
She older than me.
Okay, a lot of women though that was with the men back then that wasn't able to get the jobs, that didn't have the education. When their men get sick, it's more of a payback because 8 times out of 10 he had a whole nother family across town,
No,
or
quite the opposite though, D.
she was the one hoeing.
This dude was solid, man. Hard working, give her anything he want, man.
Well,
Anything she
a
want.
lot of times that's what women don't want.
He just lucked
And
out.
you know that. When
Yeah.
that man hard working, paying the bills, focusing on keeping the lights on and
Well, what
trying to
happened? She
schedule a
used to
trip
be
here and
married
there,
to.
trying to keep the kids in nice clothes
She
and
used
he
to be
busting his
married to a.
ass working
She used to
16,
be
18
married
hours
to.
at the meal. Then women get bored and
She
they
used to be
and
married to
then
a
you're not giving
kingpin.
them that attention.
She used to be married to a kingpin.
Mm.
See, at 19, she got married to a kingpin, and he was the kind of kingpin that exchanged suitcases. So when he exchanged suitcases, it's a briefcase full of money. My daddy said he opened a closet one time at his house and said money was stacked from the floor to the ceiling. Money from the back to the ceiling, just stacks of money. So she was used to having. So when
So when he got down and out, she
no,
couldn't deal
no,
with it.
no, he went to jail and he did 40 years. So
40?
when this her second husband,
Uh-huh.
and you know she got with him and he did all he could for her, man. You know she just had that shit in her, man. One won't, another one will. And once he got
Look at
sick and
AJ.
couldn't,
That's how most of them think. Look at
when he
AJ.
got sick and couldn't, when he
You
got
saw
sick
when you
and couldn't
said that,
do
you
it,
see how AJ look.
I ain't say a word. I
when he
didn't
got
say a
Now I'm
sick,
looking
she
at how
word.
threw
you
his
look
ass
though. I
in.
seen your face.
She threw his ass in a nursing home, man. A nursing home?
Yeah,
Mm.
that's what they do, man. But yeah, it's several ways. Like I say, at the end of the day, it's who's there for you.
Yeah.
None of the other things really matter at the end. But if you can get all the other accolades, all the other attributes and everything within that, uh, that's a plus. But when it all boils down, like I say, you can't choose no mate based on good sex, based on how much money they make, based on their looks. You can't just make that the sole reason you with that person. Y'all
Yeah.
got to be able to communicate. Y'all got to be able to
No,
build.
you
Y'all got to
listen,
care for
man. You
one
gotta be
another.
listen, man. If that woman about you, man, listen to me. I'm 63 years old. If that woman really about you, man, I'm talking about, and you know she about you, let her know, man. I'm talking about, and go all in on her. Bet on you, but go all in for her. You know what I'm saying? There's another
Yeah, but you
dude, my
know,
partner. There's another partner. My brother had his name Wayne. Man, Wayne worked two jobs. He worked for the post office, and his brother owned a funeral home. Wayne was getting 100% from the military. He was high ranking at the post office, and he worked at at uh at his brother's funeral home. Wayne had over $5 million in the bank. That nigga fell down a flight of stairs, man, and broke his neck, D. He broke his neck. He walking. He used to drink, and he got too tipsy. And my brother said them stairs at his crib, they spiral down. And he fell going down the basement, broke his neck. Got put in a nursing home, man. This happened 3 years ago. He dead already. He gone. And
Lord have mercy.
his wife, you know, he used to dog his wife out when he was
the man.
When he was on top, when he had all that money. He just used to handle it any kind of way. He put his ass in a nursing home, sold his house, sold his assets, all of that shit. Right up on, he was just stuck in a nursing home. Couldn't talk. My brother would go up there and visit him, cut his hair, shit like that. He'd tell my brother what was going on. Man, the thing is, you should have treated her right when you, just maybe she wouldn't have treated you. Maybe she would have brought that care at home. You had that money. Maybe she would have set up care for you to be at home. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be mindful, man, of how you treat people just because you think you so solid and you got it so figured out and everything. That's the way Wayne was, man. That nigga gone already, man. That shit freaked me out. I had went there, D.I. went there, and I'm telling you, man, I sit in the garage, me and him play like 10 games of domino. I had made some, I like to make salsa for chips and salsa.
Yeah.
He said, man, your salsa so good, you make me some. And I made that nigga some salsa. I got the pictures of it. My brother sent me pictures. He said, man, look at these pictures. I said, okay. He said, man, that's Wayne, man. He said, that nigga fell down the stairs, broke his neck, man. I said, man, you kidding. He said, yeah. And in 3
within
years,
3 years, after 3 years, he gone.
Gone, bro.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, man.
So
But it's crazy.
just know, man, when you got the right person, you got a good person. It sounds like you got a good person, man. It sounds like you got everything you want. I just say you got 90% of what you want out of a woman, man. And
Right.
and I know the dude you are. I know you. If you care about her, you're gonna treat her good.
Oh yeah, I'm you know that.
Yeah.
You know that.
So I done learned my lesson, man. I done treated some women good, and I done treated some women not worth a shit, and I know it. So I take my medicine when I had it, you know.
Right.
So
yeah.
But yeah, let me hear the closing remarks about the whole phase. Let me hear AJ right quick. She already know how we feel about the whole phase. AJ is a different kind of thought because she a woman that believe in sexual revolution and everything. So
I just believe in people being free to do whatever they feel to be doing. And see, I think that's a discovery. I like the way Austin put it. It's a more or less a discovery phase, you know. And you may discover that you may like sex more than you normally thought you did or didn't, or don't like sex, or you know. I don't think you should box
AJ, do you
yourself.
feel like in some of your relationships, the amount or the quality of sex that you thought you was gonna get that you didn't get?
Right. That's true. I
You
did feel
thought
that.
you did feel that? And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times you went to bed like, man, this some bullshit right here.
Right. But I stayed for 10 years.
okay.
That's sad. That's sad.
Nah, that explains her behavior.
I know. That's why I asked the question, D,
Yeah, she
because
feel like she was
I feel
deprived.
like damn, she sacrificed, and she
Yeah.
thought it got to be more to it than this.
Yeah. And see, that's what I'm saying. That 10 years started in my 20s. So that took my 20s to my 30s. So by the time the 30s hit, it was time
Hey,
to discover.
She doing that talk, you know, goddamn well in her goddamn 20s and however long they was together, she was out there fucking around with somebody
No,
else. You
no.
can't
When I
bullshit,
was
no
there,
bullshit.
I'm there.
Man, you
When I'm
gave it
there,
up
I'm
to
there.
somebody, childhood boyfriend, somebody was getting
No,
in the summer. I remember in the summer,
nah, nah.
somebody came in town, they ta-da.
Look, you know how toward the end you check out. So about the 7 year, you start checking out. But
And that's
still,
when you start messing around within them 10 years. I
I
knew you was
never
out
crossed
there
the
sneaking.
boundary until it was over.
Mm-hmm.
I never crossed the boundary until it was over.
Come on now.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where I get that.
Hey,
I know
hey, hey,
I was cheated on, and I know what it feel like. And then you go and you cheat with somebody, or and you be like, okay, I know what that feel like. So I get it. I get it. I
You
get
just
it.
ain't
I'm
done
not.
had a,
I
you
think
just
it's
ain't done
just
had
Kurt.
there for
enough.
people
Hey, Kurt.
to discover themselves.
All right, Kurt, listen. Come on now, AJ. This is just between us. Ain't nobody else gonna know.
Ah,
You was out there getting it up while you was in that 10-year relationship. He wasn't getting it
no,
to you at home. You would leave the house sometime, that thing still be a little wet. And every now and then you would let somebody
How
who
you
was
trying to
hounding
who? How
you
you
and
trying to
bugging
put
you,
AJ?
tap that
How
ass.
you trying to
Ain't
put
nobody,
AJ on
ain't nobody,
blast?
it's just me and you
let me
talking. Ain't
go and
nobody but
get up
Kurt.
on here. Let me let you see it so you know how I feel.
Ain't nobody but me
No,
and Kurt. Ain't nobody else gonna hear what you say.
I
This
was
just us.
faithful. I was faithful. I
Dang.
checked out
How
before
long
the
was you
10 years
faithful?
was
How
up.
long?
She
How long
claims
was
she
you
was faithful
I
for
faithful,
checked.
10
AJ?
years, she say.
I was faithful for the entire 10
She ain't
years.
get no
I
more
checked
penis
out 3 years
in 10 years.
early. I started checking out in
You
that
deprived
seventh
at
year. I started
home.
checking out.
You deprived at home. You horny and you with somebody. You checked out on that 7th year. So you stayed another 3 years and didn't nobody get a finger in that thing.
AJ,
No,
AJ,
no, no.
AJ.
You must have
I
a
can
vibrator,
honestly
then.
say
You
that.
had a
Now I can
rabbit.
honestly say that. I can
You was
honestly
using
say
a
that.
rabbit or you had a rose. Was the rose out back then?
Now Rose won out back then,
So
but
you
I
had
had a
that bullet.
friend.
You had a
I
bullet.
had a friend. I had a friend.
AJ, how long? How often was you getting sex, AJ?
How often was what?
How often was your man bringing it to you?
Ah, I'm a every other day girl. When I was,
Right.
I'm a every other day.
So he wasn't. He
Sometimes
was.
twice a day.
So he
Sometimes
wasn't
I
giving it
mean
to
it,
you
it
every
all
other
depends
day,
So
on the
AJ.
day.
you had a high sex drive.
It
You
all
was
depends on the day.
borderline nympho. You love sex.
See, you're not gonna get me to put all my business out here on
Ain't
these
nobody on here but me and
internet
you.
streets.
And
We
him, ain't
still
nobody
on
else
the
gonna hear you.
internet streets. No, sir. No,
Ain't nobody
sir.
else gonna hear you. This just
But
us
you know
talking.
what? I hold no regrets. That's my testimony. I hold
Yeah.
no regrets. I hold no
Ain't
regrets.
nobody
That's my
but
testimony.
but you just talking to me. Kurt might listen every now and then. Ain't nobody, it's just us talking.
But
But that's my testimony, though.
Kirk ain't gonna judge you.
But that's
Right.
my testimony. I don't care too. I don't care. I wish somebody would judge me. People that live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. So I don't mind talking about it because that's my testimony.
I
That's my
Right,
understand.
right.
testimony.
But you went 10 years with one man, never snuck around.
No, I did not.
And he would leave you incomplete, horny, and all that,
Now I
and you
wouldn't say that
still stayed
every
faithful.
time, but sometimes it wasn't there. It just didn't happen like
The
that. I
qua-
can't
the
say
quality
every
the
time.
quality the quality was weak, or he would make excuses.
Sometimes the quality was weak, and sometimes the quantity wasn't enough.
Yeah,
And
I
sometimes he
think this
make
is what happens
excuses
too,
too on
Kurt.
you.
And we need this a totally different discussion. But
Cause
I
he was
think
already fucked out and you caught it.
a
You
lot of
you already
times,
been fucking.
You
see
know.
in the beginning, but you don't know. I notice in relationships, and we gonna, like I said, this is another topic. We're gonna close it out. But I notice a lot of times in relationships that when you get in them, can't keep your hands off each other. That sex.
Yeah.
Somewhere down in that relationship, especially a 10-year span,
Life happens.
up to that 7th year, somebody can say or do something where that other one kind of slow it down or lose a little interest because of something that was said either in an argument something. That's why they say choose wisely of what you say to people, because that one phrase I might say, I don't like it when you touch me like that. And in your mind, you might say, well, shit, I won't touch the motherfucker at all then. I'm trying to go out my way to please him. And he talking about he don't like when I touch somebody else must be touching him. So when you say that, though, you lose something for that person.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're not going to be as quick to, when he touched you and he used to kiss you on the neck and he used to make you shake. Now when he kiss you on your neck, you're like, whatever. You know, and then you do the sex according to when you want to do it. And it ain't, let me just please my man, or I know it's been 2 days, I want to please him. Because a lot of things, what we say and what we go through can kill that vibration, that vibe in that bedroom. And I know a lot of people that came to me with that. When she said that I couldn't do this, when she said she wished that I could do that, I ain't never want to mess with her no more after that. You know, it's just certain things that, like you say, men can be emotional. And certain things you say can mess them up.
This thing right here, D, this is one of the most dangerous things in the world.
Yes, it is.
What's that?
This thing right, this mouth.
That mouth. That tongue.
That mouth can cause so many issues, man.
Yeah.
Because
and you wouldn't even know, but that person checked out over something that you said while you was angry.
And
but I learned to be quiet. My thing, I grew up on cursing the motherfucker out. I could curse you out and talk to you so bad you'll want to kill yourself the next day. That's just how my tongue is. And so I had to learn, because when I got with mine, I believe, I brought up with when it's something, because Kirk do this too. Kirk mild and settled, but when you piss him off and he raise his voice, it's serious. The whole house get quiet. And that's how I was raised too. So when I got with her, our first couple of months together, when she would do something and I'm yelling at her, she started checking out on me. And I'm yelling, I'm saying this, I'm saying that. And then she like, I said, didn't I just say that to you 2 weeks ago? She said, no, because when you start yelling at me, I tuned you out. Because I don't do
you ain't
people
yelling at me any kind of way.
Yeah. So when she taught me that in order for me to get my point across, I got to talk to her like we talk. I can't say, damn it, didn't I say such? Why in the hell did you do such? And I'm yelling. And she's sitting there, but she ain't hearing shit I'm saying.
Because that's what you used to, Wayne.
That's what I was used to.
That's what you was used to.
I was used to.
And see, I was the same way, because once I barked, that invoked that, hey, I mean business.
Right.
And I had to learn, man. Listen, man, you can get a whole lot of bees,
with honey than with vinegar. But that's gonna be another topic when you're checking out a relationship. So we got a lot of stuff, man. We touching up on. I'm glad AJ come on here, because AJ kind of twisted the thing up. I
like you, AJ.
Because AJ a realist.
Wait, what state you in, AJ?
I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis. Oh yeah, that's.
He down there in the war zone.
That's
Memphis is a great city. It used to be really great.
That's the new Iraq over there, boy.
Man, look, somebody just got murked over there. They got on YouTube last week, I think. Ever since that dog stuff, man, y'all been terrible down there.
Ooh, that's the new bag.
But I'm gonna tell you the name of that church we went to too. I just keep forgetting. But did you ever look me up on Facebook?
I told George to send me your Facebook because I could not find you.
But
he said he was gonna do it. But what is it on Facebook? Is it
what's
DJ
my name
Black?
on Facebook? Let me see. Is it DJ Black Kurt, or is it? Let me see. It's DEEBLAKK.
Yeah, I got you.
And you'll see me holding my DJ board up on my shoulder. But I'm definitely gonna go on. Probably on Saturday. I think my night's gonna be Saturday.
AJ.
My name's Africa on Facebook.
Yeah, she told me last week.
Africa what?
How? HOWELL.
I'll look you up. Memphis, Tennessee. Africa how? All right, now.
We're gonna do that. But it's been a pleasure, gang. We about to get up off of here. And Kurt, I'm gonna
Call me.
review them videos, and we're gonna use one of your topics next week. And then, you like we always do on our discussions, we're gonna dip off into others. But I think I'm gonna start DJing on Saturdays because I did Saturday the last time, and I got a lot of views from people saying, "Yeah, do it on Saturday," because Friday I just be getting off work. So I may start doing it on Saturday. So, I'll inbox you the link or tag you in the link, and then Saturday you will see that I'm live on TikTok. And yeah, I'm okay. I'm thinking about doing it smooth this week because I've been turning up with all the line dance stuff and the stepper songs. I'm gonna play smoother blues this week because I've been getting requests, and the requests they sending is different blues. I didn't where them fans that they like, okay, then we got other blues too. So I'm gonna do a minute of that, and then I'm gonna go back the week after that and mix them all together. So
but call me Friday or either Sunday like you did.
Yeah, you know how we do it.
Either way.
All right, that'll work.
All right, hey Jay.
So with that being said, we thank everybody. George, Austin, who was it? George, Austin, AJ, and Kurt. And with that being said, we out.
Peace out.
And like always, I tell them, peace.
All right.
Next week, we out.
What you thinking, man? I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. Okay. And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard is supposedly is? Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we were even thought. Why doesn't my father is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was black men, white women. Yeah, white women. You know, at one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, you know, I know, you know, I mean, you hit it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So you
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. You know, it means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm just gonna walk away when things get hard. You know, that's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, you know, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, you know. So there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, you know, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband.